pushing, we get pulled in by the waves. Popping pills and bottles and we go our separate ways. Line drawn in the sea. Take my second chance. So
It's almost like we're bringing in the new year with some new vibes.
I know, right?
New Dav.
Oh.
It's the second generation Dav.
Yeah.
It's Dav Jr.
Dav Jr.
That's where the best shows are anyway, because Nick Jr. is the shit. I haven't watched Nick Jr.
Blue's
in
Clues?
Dude, Blue's Clues was tough. Don't sleep. Don't sleep. And the Blue's Clues has generations now too, because there's a new Steve character.
That's right. That's right.
That's got to be like the third one, right?
No, it's the third one, and they're all homies too. Like the other two show up on it and stuff like that.
I feel like that's kind of like, you know how when they choose the Pope? Same shit happens.
The new Steve and Blue's Clues. Oh my god! You got to joke off before we even did the intro.
Oh yeah.
What the fuck is up, y'all? Welcome to the On Repeat Podcast.
Podcast.
There you go. Do you hear? That's two. There's two echoes this time.
Yeah.
Well, we'll find out in just a second. Because it's your boy Medium Franc.
And Dark Ruffalo?
Y'all know why they call him Dark Ruffalo, right?
No.
You're going to ask me why?
Why?
I thought that was a leading no.
No, you got to ask
No,
why.
I don't know why they call him. Nor
You can't
do I
just
care.
change the intro and expect me to get it.
No, I don't want to hear it. No, I'm kidding.
Y'all know no. And no, let's move on. Y'all know why they call him Dark Ruffalo, right?
No, why?
Because he's an Aboriginal snack.
Oh.
Get it? Aboriginals from Australia are the black motherfuckers.
Yeah.
And then Ruffalo, he's a snack. He's like a chip.
Okay. I like it. I like it.
That's pretty. Is that one worse than the one that we just scratched?
No,
Yeah.
no. Well, I think the first one was still better.
Yeah, the first one's better.
But
We were clipping though.
yeah, we were
Clip,
Damn,
clip,
that
clip,
sucks.
clip.
Well, hopefully y'all enjoyed the new intro song, the new song from the
we're
intro.
Yeah.
Because we like it. How do you
We
how do you
like it a
feel
lot.
about that?
I mean, I love it. You know, I don't know who did it, but
Me neither. What
it
about you,
sounds
Xani?
amazing.
I fucking love it.
Oh wait, whoops! Spoiler. You know
Spoiler.
who else is here? Do you hear that third voice?
Oh yeah.
You hear me?
It's Xani Devito
Fuego as a hot damn Cheeto.
with the air horns. Y'all niggas fucking with me, man.
Fiery air horns.
Dude, 2020 on repeat is coming with the fire now.
I know, right?
Our
I know.
production values up.
Flame.
We got producers now. You'll
We know
find
what
out.
we're doing.
You'll find out who produced part of this episode in a little bit too. But before we get into the fun shit, because we actually have a lot to talk about. I didn't think we were gonna have a lot to talk about today, but then like shit came up during pre-production. We had pre-production meeting today.
Yeah.
That's crazy. We grown now. God, man, we get 100 views on the fucking 3-hour podcast on YouTube. We think we on now. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
good. That's good.
That's actually really
ours,
good.
man.
So shouts out to y'all for listening to the decade list. I'm glad that y'all enjoyed that. I also saw that like I have like 11 people following the fucking the year end
playlist?
playlist, which is
Oh,
cool
shit,
too,
that's
or the
nice.
end decade end playlist. So we should do that for the year end list too. that we're gonna do next week.
Yeah.
So that's cool. But before we get into that shit and we let Dark Ruffalo be the A mic, how's everybody doing, man? How you doing, Dark?
I'm good. Lately I cleaned the studio.
He cleaned the studio.
It's
It's
nice,
very. We have a good workspace now. We could do all these activities.
We don't know where anything is anymore, though.
Yeah, we'll figure it out once we make more mess. But
Once we make a big mess, we'll figure it out.
I'm doing pretty good. I've just been more motivated than ever. Still, I go into dips of depression, but like it's easier to like pull myself out of that now. Seems
Word.
like 'cause I have more. I'm trying to like put structure into my life.
That's what I feel that.
Yeah.
You probably also like have picked up like really healthy coping mechanisms now too, at this age.
Like smoking cigarettes.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
smoking
super
weed.
healthy.
And,
So
no,
healthy.
Healthy
but I
for
am
the
trying to
30s.
quit that. I'm getting better. I would say though, what's been helping me a lot, stay productive,
Masturbation.
It's masturbation. You know, it
What are you pointing at?
What?
You're
Hey,
pointing
hey,
at
Zeddy,
it.
focus. They can't even see that. There's no video on this.
No, but I downloaded these PDFs for smart
Uh-oh,
goal
hold on.
setting.
Careful. What did you download?
PDF.
Oh, PDFs. Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
what would you hear?
PP.
Pedo.
PPE?
No, I thought you said I downloaded these PPs. I'm like,
PPs.
Just keep going with your
All
story.
right, I don't know what that. But all I'm saying, I've been just trying to stay organized. So,
Nice.
and I'm very excited for all the Wave Gang stuff that's coming out.
Oh my God. We got so much shit coming out that we'll talk about this
But
eventually.
yeah, how are you doing?
I might, man. You know,
That doesn't sound.
it's been 2019's been like an up and down year. There was definitely like a stretch where everything was lit, and then like it's been difficult the past few months, but very similarly, I think like as shit gets bad, I'm in there. I fucking like am validating how I feel, and I'm very present in how shit things are. And I think that's just my personality. You know what I mean? Like I just feel what's happening more than most. You know what I mean?
To what?
To me. Like when things are happening, like when things are bad, a lot of people are like, "Man, that kind of sucks," and then they probably are really bummed out about it, but they're like good at like just like putting it to the side and living their lives. Whereas me, when shit goes mad, when things get bad, I like wallow in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's tough.
And when things are great, like I am like so outward about how great things are. You know what I mean? Like I'm just like that type of dude. I wear shit on my sleeve and shit like that.
Yeah.
And that's exhausting. But at the same time, though, with help from my therapist and just like growing up in general, I think I've been like learning healthier ways to deal with shit and coming to grips with a lot of things in life. And learning to like not hold everyone else to the same standard that I hold myself, because that's just going to leave so much room for disappointment. So, with all those things in mind, I think understanding is the underlying theme for everything that I'm like trying to learn and trying to discipline myself with. So as much as things have been kind of shitty, like on an emotional and personal and mental tip, I think it's all positive. But then, like, in terms of just, like, what's actually, like, happening in my life, like, I'm fucking killing it. So it's all good. New gig is fire. I secured the bag. Mad floozies there that are fine. And the job itself is, like, so far, like, way easier than my last job.
That's good.
Being in charge of people sucks. Especially when, like in my personal life, I'm very, like... Have you guys ever done like the DISC personality assessments? Yeah. I mean, like I don't necessarily believe that those are like super accurate, but I'm using that as a baseline. Like like people that are like D's are definitely more like like more like assertive. They're definitely like take control kinds of people. They're like A-type personality type dudes. I think I'm like that in my personal life so much that when I have to be that way in my like I take parts of that into my professional career, and I think that's why I've been able to get the success that I have, whatever success that is. I'm able to use some of that in my career to get where I'm at in my career path. But I also think if I always have to be that guy, it's fucking exhausting and draining. And in my last gig, like I had to, like being in a leadership position and being responsible for people, you have to be that guy. And then it makes it so I don't have the motivation or the energy to do that in my personal life, in which I think I need it more, right? Like for this wave gang shit, for like what we're trying to build here, like I need that more because we're getting it out the mud. Whereas at my professional career, at this point, I really don't have to. You know what I mean? Like there's a floor to my where I'm at in my career. There's I don't have to worry about losing too much.
Yeah.
So like now finding the right role that will allow me to like have the success that I want professionally, but also not give too much of myself to it, has been really helpful in terms of just like overall work-life balance and just like overall sanity and like dealing with all the bullshit that I'm dealing with personally. So in that sense, that shit's tight. Also, it's the holidays, and you know how much I love Christmas. So that's fi. It's daylight savings time, and you know how much I love daylight savings. So that's fi. And I'm about to go to the Philippines for New Year's. So that's fi. And we have so much shit coming up for Wave Gang in 2020. I will also say that 2019 was the most successful year Wave Gang's ever experienced. And not just for like any individual here. It's like for all of us.
Yeah.
We all experienced like a ton of growth in 2019 in terms of like just brand visibility. You know what I mean? Like between all of us, we've definitely at the very least tripled our visibility.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's not all just one platform either. Like me and Xani was talking about this on the way here. Like Xani's last 2 music videos 8,000 views each, whereas all of his previous videos were like hovering around 1,500, right? You have a few songs on Spotify that have over 1,000 and a few videos that are in the thousands, you know what I mean? Whereas the year before that, nothing really, because like you really got shit kicked off for real last year. And you've played a number of shows already, which is huge, right? Chemo has more views and plays than ever because he didn't have anything out until last year, you know what I mean? And now his first thing's coming out soon. Right, we added Cora. That already is humongous. Yeah, Eric's been a part of all the videos we shot, so like he actually has like a reel now he could show people. You know what I mean? Yep. And then me, like I have multiple songs on Spotify that's like fucking pushing 10,000. I have a video that's over 10,000, and the Spotify wrap up that from this year was crazy for me. Like I did not expect it to be that significant of an increase. And then just look at our IGs. Our IGs are more popping than ever, even if it's not like crazy popping. Yeah. Like me and Chemo are both over 1K. You're fucking like in the high hundreds, right? Yeah. James has more than he's ever had to this day. Because he was posting, he actually posted hella shit this year finally. Yep. You know what I mean?
Finally promoting myself.
You know what I mean? Like we grew hella this year. So it's like, despite all the personal shit, you know what I mean? I'm finding healthier ways to cope with it. Yeah. And like it's just, it's the good thing about the end of the year is like it's definitely a time for reflection and finally being able to pull myself out of the weeds of the day to day and see how much progress and how much good shit happened this year. That helps a lot too. You know what I mean?
It's tough. I feel like it's like a muscle where like the more you're able to cope with your personal life, every aspect of your life gets better. But it's the same thing when you feel like shit, then everything's kind of like sinking in with you, you know? But, man. Yeah, I'm glad you're. We've known each other for a long time.
Yes, sir.
I've definitely seen a lot of growth from you, and I'm really proud of that.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that shit. I love you, bro.
I love you too, man.
Solid.
Damn.
But how about
how you doing, Jason?
Hey, man, I'm doing all right.
That's it. Tell us more.
Yeah, tell us more, man.
I'm cold right now, man. Fucking, other than that,
you're
just
cold?
Working. Hella people. No, I have a cold.
Oh, you have a cold.
I probably got you sick from last Thursday. I was in here coughing on all y'all.
The other day I went drinking and I smoked a cigarette and then I came out with a fucking cold.
That usually sends the chain reaction, man. Smoking cigarettes after you don't smoke cigarettes lowers your immune system. It makes you more susceptible to viruses and shit.
That was a dumb move on my end. But other than that, a bunch of people from work just got fired, so we're restructuring the whole company, and it's just like
always a scary time.
Yeah.
Sounds like you're safe though.
Well, for now. We asked my boss. He's just like, so why were our positions like kept? Why haven't we just like outsourced to like a different company or something? He's just like, well, I have a heart. I didn't want to get rid of you guys during the holiday season. I was like, shit. Well, that doesn't make me fucking feel secure.
Oh my god, are you looking right now?
No, I'm gonna. I'm restructuring my resume.
Where I'm working, there's Lattice has hella openings.
Yeah.
I don't know if you'd be able to like get a CSM position right off tops with your experience, but like there's other like if you get into the care team, which is what you're doing now essentially, and like be an implementation manager. Yeah. That like you get fast tracked into CSM quick, and you know what they pay in CSMs? They give these motherfuckers the bag.
Yeah. So yeah. Other than that, just.
But also, you live in San Francisco, and like there's so many opportunities for your line of work. You'll be alright.
Yeah. But other than that, doing pretty good.
Yeah, good luck, man. Hopefully everything pans out well.
Thanks.
Yeah, man.
Thanks. Yeah, let's hop into it, guys.
But yeah, so today we'll talk about. Well, first we're gonna talk about a passing of an artist.
Yeah, man, that's so fucking sad.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. Yeah. Then we're gonna talk about. Well, before we started, there's some news about a new game.
Holy fuck! I didn't even know this.
Old new game.
I didn't even know this happened until our boy Wave Gang Worldwide Vinny told us. Like, shit, man. Yeah. Like, I haven't even had enough time to fully process what I just saw. So, we'll talk about it.
Talk about that.
I'll have a stronger opinion next week or something.
Yeah. But our main topic, why we are here today, would be to talk about Disney Plus's Mandolorian.
Woo!
That series. And also we'll talk about Disney Plus.
Yeah. And we'll also talk about how Episode 9, Rise of the Skywalker, is coming out in a couple weeks, actually.
And I'm pretty sure we'll have a lot to talk about that. I know you guys love Star Wars, and sometimes, for me, I love Star Wars, but I have
What are you, a
opposing
Trekkie?
opinions. You know.
What are you, a Trekkie?
Oh no, I'm not a Trekkie. I'm not a Trekkie at all. But
I want to talk to it more directly.
Yo,
Damn it.
But so we'll talk about the passing of Juice WRLD.
Holy shit, man.
Yeah. He had a seizure, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
so,
sad.
So do you guys know the full story? Well, before we get into the full story, where were you when you heard about it?
I woke up. I took a shit, and I was looking at Instagram. First thing I saw, Juice WRLD passed.
So you saw it the morning of then?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it happened pretty early for us on the West Coast.
Oh well, I saw it today.
Oh,
What?
No, it's been a couple days.
Was it or was it yesterday?
It's
Man,
been-
my days are blurred.
It's been like a couple days. I think it might have been like 2 days. I think it happened on Monday, right?
Yeah.
Monday. Yeah.
saw it on
Actually, I think
YouTube.
they said it happened like Sunday night at like 11 or something. Is
Really?
when it actually all went
Yeah, it was
down.
like early in the morning in Chicago, so even earlier for us. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely did just find out today because I was listening to the on repeat. It's the mic still on, not on repeat. It's the mic still on. They talked about it.
shout out Dead End Hip Hop.
Yeah, Dead End Hip Hop. You guys are awesome. But that's why I'm late, I think. Yeah,
Yeah.
I saw it today because I researched it.
Well, do you guys know the story? I know it sounds
Yeah.
like you know the story.
Yeah, I know the story. Did you want to tell it?
Well,
I
okay.
don't know
Well,
the
how about
story.
this? We'll each tell the story we heard. Because there's
have all
guaranteed to be
these, like,
multiple
false
versions.
stories.
There's guaranteed to be multiple versions. It happened when Triple X died, and then like,
That's true.
and like there were so many stories about what actually happened. Was it a hit? Was it so? Did he like blah blah blah? Like,
Right.
no, it was just some asshole trying to rob him and fucking shot him because he's a piece of shit. Like
Yeah.
this
Talking about
particular,
XXX Tentacion?
yeah,
Okay.
Tentacion, yeah. So this one,
What did you say?
Tentacion?
Tentacion.
Why? How did you say it? Filipino and French. That's fucking wild.
XXX Tentacion.
What's a Filipino French name?
XXX
Manuel?
Tentacion.
Ratatouille. All right, let's not take away from the seriousness. That's my
Yeah.
fault. I'm so sorry.
It's all good.
But okay, so what happened was apparently he landed at the airport, and the feds were sitting there waiting for him, and he had a bunch of Percocets on him and about 70 pounds of weed, and he tried to eat all the Percocets.
Oh shit! What?
And then yeah, he died. Apparently, they said he wouldn't have gotten anything. Mm-hmm. And he wouldn't have gotten in any
Oh
trouble.
my god! I didn't hear that.
He would have been let go, and he wouldn't have been dead right now.
That's the crazy thing. So you said you pretty much got it right. The only thing that you missed out on was that he was flying private. So when you fly private
Yeah.
domestically, they don't check shit for you,
Yeah.
right? But they were. If you watch the last, it's so eerie. If you watch like the last videos that him and his crew was posting,
Right.
they were all having a blast on the plane, and they were like fucking with each other. They're like spraying each other with water and stuff like that. So they were a little too loose, right? For being on a plane, and not only did they have like hella drugs on them, they had guns on them and shit. So like for being on a private plane smuggling crazy shit with you, you're a little too like.
The guns
reckless.
weren't illegal, apparently. The guns were his bodyguards. And
Right.
They were all illegal.
So the reason why the guns came into play though is that they so like any big artist has an entourage, right?
Yeah.
And you have people that have specific jobs. You have a tour manager that handles all the logistics of being on tour. You have your personal manager that handles all the logistics of you as an artist. And then you probably have some like goons with you. Because like if anything goes down, they need to be your security, or they need to be the ones that's holding the gun, shooting the gun if they need to. And also, if you like to have fun, somebody needs to be holding the drugs. Because if Juice WRLD goes down, all of them don't eat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's just the reality of being a famous person, is that you need to have those people, and oftentimes those are people you grew up with that wouldn't have a job otherwise, right? So the crazy thing about that is, first and foremost, you're flying private. That's a smart move.
Yeah.
That means you're thinking about moving correctly so you don't get fucked with all that stuff. But how loose they were being on the plane was like, damn, man. Like, but then you have to remember, Juice WRLD's just turned 21. That's a kid. You know what I mean? So, like,
Yeah.
of course you're going to act stupid like that, right? The thing that's unfortunate is that they were going to be fine, but since and remember, the two dudes that he was with had the license to carry the gun. They were the security guards. They're the shooters, right? They were allowed to have that, right? The thing is, they didn't tell the pilot. So whenever you fly private, there's not a whole crew. It's just the dude that's flying his plane.
Yeah.
Oftentimes it's their plane, that they were going to fly somewhere anyway, but since they're going to go fly back to the same place you're going, we might as well make money on this plane trip. Which also brings up the fact that we need to look at that for when we go places, bruh. Because
private plane.
my friend showed me an app of like dudes that are flying, that have a plane that they're going to go to like LA. And they're like, since we're going to go to LA anyway, we might as well sell some of these seats and make some money because gas is expensive. There's like round trips private to LA for like $80 each. As long as you catch them. Yeah, as long as there's enough people that sign up and you catch them, we'll talk about that because we got to use that at some point. But in those cases, right, like the only crew that's there is the pilot, right?
Yeah.
And oftentimes, who owns private planes? Middle-aged white people or middle-aged people that are not like in touch with street culture or black culture. So they're already worried and tight about the situation. And they didn't notify the pilot that they had guns on them. He just overheard that they were on board when they were fucking around. So now he's like, oh, fuck. This is going to have implications for me. If for some reason I land, I don't tell anybody about this, they search my shit, I'm fucked. Right? So in the pilot's fucking panic, he calls FBI while he's like while he's about to land, saying like, there's people on the plane that has drugs and guns on them that I wasn't aware of until now. So as soon as they land, FBI searches the plane. And Juice WRLD and them, being young, not realizing that the guns are probably fine. I don't know what the Chicago gun laws are, so I can't speak on that. But they were registered to have that, so the guns were probably fine, right?
Yeah, the guns were fine. They were let go 24 hours.
And then the drugs, I kind of understand why he would freak out, but here's the thing. The reason why you have an entourage is for people to take the fall for you. And that's a sad way to look at it, but that's a reality for every celebrity.
For every celebrity.
Every rapper has goons that will go to jail for you. Because they're
not eating otherwise.
Yeah. And like when they're in jail, they'll do a couple years, whatever they have to do. They know that Juice WRLD, since he's the breadwinner, will take care of their family. They'll send him money in the books. It's a sad way to look at things, especially when you're growing up with somebody. Like, for example, if for some reason Xani Devito becomes a fucking, like, rap rock star, guess what? I'm going to fucking be the shooter. I'll hold the gun, I'll hold the drugs because he's bringing in the money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If we get caught up in a crazy situation and we're in a state that doesn't allow weed, XYZ, are we going to fucking risk losing millions of dollars in income? Nah, bruh, I'll take it. I'll sit down for a couple years. You take care of my family. You keep going. You keep helping them with the tours and all that shit. But at the end of the day, all we lost was 2 years from my life, which I'll take in that scenario because oftentimes these guys come from places that they have nothing anyway. So that's the thing that like makes me bummed out is that they already they were so young that like when this shit went down, when they were like a little panicked because like to me when you hear that Juice WRLD passes away from a seizure because he swallowed a shit ton of fucking Percocets to not get caught by the feds, there's a clear and obvious alternative, which is your boy takes the rap for a little bit. You know what I mean? And if they were older and been in the game for much longer, because Juice WRLD, when did he get famous? Last year?
His
last year.
Lucid
career
Dreams,
is
right?
Doing well now.
Dude, he's like part of this new emo hip hop wave.
Yeah, the sad boy genre.
Yeah, like this is the biggest thing that's gonna happen. Whether we like it or not, whether what we think with our old tastes, whether we like it or not, that's the wave right now. You know what I mean? But when you look at like the forefathers of that wave, they're all gone, bro.
Yeah.
Tentacion died too early. Juice WRLD died too early. Lil Peep died too early. Like, it's fucking sad. It's really sad. It's really sad.
It is.
Especially,
and they all rapped about dying early too.
Right. It's eerie as fuck, dude. And it's sad when like there was a clear and obvious alternative to this.
I would have flushed it down, like
flush it down where though?
Yeah, the
toilet in a plane that doesn't go nowhere,
dude. But they're strong as fuck.
Yeah, but it's still
it stays
still
in a tank.
It stays in a tank, but do you think they'll actually go through that?
Yeah, if the FBI gets called to search the plane, they'll strip that.
Still though, like if you had to swallow that much, like I mean, me, even if I was a young kid, and I'm not trying to put blame, I'm just like, this is gonna kill me.
Yeah.
if I eat all this.
Word.
You know, like
The crazy thing is it's been documented that he like abuses perks and shit like that.
And-
so he probably
and
thought
lean
like
and all that
yeah,
shit.
he probably thought like fuck, this is gonna be I'm just gonna be so high for a little bit. But he was probably on multiple things. Also, keep in mind too, like being up in elevation does a lot to your body. So like couple that with all of the drugs that you just consumed, and then he got a seizure when they landed. So your body is normalizing to regular gravity and pressure and all that
so he
stuff.
took it before they even landed.
Yeah, well, because like as they were landing is when they found out that the FBI was gonna come. So I'm sure during that landing, they're scrambling to figure out what to do, and then ultimately, boom, boom, boom. But again, like even don't even flesh it either. Like dog, like be like, yo, out of our crew right now, one of us has to sit down.
The pilot was carrying all this shit.
Yeah, fucking blame the pilot.
Yeah.
Wait, he called the cops on us? It's because we're black.
Why
All
was
that
the
weed,
feds
all
gonna
that
search
70
it
pounds
anyways?
of weed and shit.
You're not
was
allowed to
his.
carry that kind of contraband in the air.
Yeah, okay.
No, you're not.
Yeah.
That's
it's
a
just
lot.
that, yeah.
That's a lot.
And you're not allowed to have any of that shit at all on the plane. But the thing about flying private is you don't go through the regular TSA things you
Yeah.
go through in the airport. You still go through a metal detector, quote unquote. But really, you drive up. But if you're a celebrity, you drive up to the tarmac. You get into the private plane.
Yeah.
Because you probably paid, especially if it's just you and your boys, you probably paid like $10,000 to, or even more than that, depending how far they went and all that shit. You're paying a lot of money to be there. You know what I mean? So like, you're skipping a lot. You don't have to go through the peasant TSA shit that me and Xani has to go through and he gets flagged. You know what I mean?
I gotta
But
delete
you know,
that shit.
as much as we could speculate and like, you know, the end of the day, the thing that sucks is a 21-year-old fucking passed away way too early.
Due to drug abuse.
Yeah, it's really sad, man, and it sucks. You know, and I'll say something else too. I think we said this when Tentacion passed away, and people were going crazy on the internet because like the internet is such a fucking awful place. Like everybody that has something negative to say about Juice WRLD, like I see so many people in the comments saying like, "Well, that's what happens when you abuse drugs." Well, this is what happens when you carry shit in planes. It's like, yo, fuck yourself. Dude,
Have a heart, bro.
Is this world completely devoid of empathy at this point?
Yeah, I feel like it is, because you know what? There's
For
people.
the most part.
I
Yeah.
have friends who are liberals, right?
Yeah.
And when George Bush Senior died, they're
Yeah.
like, "Oh, thank God!"
Thank
blah, blah,
God,
blah."
like,
and I was
bruh.
like, you know what? Even no matter how bad that person is, like, and even if that's true,
Yeah.
like he has family. Why don't you tweet
Yeah.
that to his granddaughters?
Exactly,
And you know,
dog.
like think about the family. Like this person could be a piece of shit, but this person did die. Like lives do matter.
That's what I'm
no matter
saying.
whose it is.
Like, there's a dude who's gonna be the first person on death row in so many years right now, and all the people that he's killed, their families are all pleading for him to not be put to death.
You know what I
So
mean?
it's just like, what? Like, how come we don't have that shit going on? More
Right.
often?
Or just like,
I mean, obviously this is a little different. That man
right.
was a murderer.
yeah, or
But
just
still,
just like understand the nuance of the situation.
Yeah,
you know?
man.
Like
Word.
be more nuanced and subtle with your approach, because like, first of all, not everyone agrees with you.
Yeah.
And like people do change, you know,
Word.
and people, even like good people, air quotes,
Yeah.
have done shit to hurt other people.
And the thing that
you know?
really, really sucks is that like a lot of people, especially in the case of Tentacion, they would bring up like his past and all that shit and be like, well, that's why he deserved to die. And that thing is, it's sometimes that's valid. There's sometimes that's valid, but in this case, Tentacion died when he was 19.
Yeah.
He didn't even have at 19 years old, you have zero chance to actually develop into a good person, but then B, like he hasn't even had the chance to like prove who he really was at that
Yeah.
point. Like when you pass away that early, it's like, dude, that's a child that died. As much,
yeah.
you know what I mean?
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
and oftentimes people that grow up in low income or black or colored communities, they don't have the chance to fucking grow up and have the same development socially, emotionally as other privileged kids can. So you like somebody that comes from communities that we grew up in that is at 19 or 20 is far less like emotionally, socially, and mentally developed because the way they grew up is so skewed by society. So like holding someone to that standard at 20 years old is just completely irresponsible and unfair. And at the end of the day, somebody lost their son, somebody lost their sibling, their best friend. Like, before you start coming out and passing judgment on how they lived their lives or how they passed, fucking show some empathy.
Yeah.
Jesus fucking Christ.
I mean,
man.
people now, especially in the digital age, the internet age, they're too entitled to their opinions.
Yeah,
They always
man.
think they're right. And, like, I feel like it's always virtue signaling, you know? Where,
Yes.
like,
that's
it's
literally
just-
what it is.
Yeah, just so they could feel good about themselves. Like, oh, I'm not a piece of shit. Thank God that person died. It's like, I'm pretty sure
Right.
you've done shitty things.
The
you know?
crazy thing is, it's probably what they're expressing in this time is probably not even their opinion. It's a combination of like you said, virtue signaling to make their personal image look better, holier than thou, things like that. But then B, it's actually just like a knee-jerk reaction. Because not enough time has gone by, not enough information has actually been like made publicized. That's like confirmed hard information. We're all going off of TMZ updates. Could you really like fully confirm that everything that they're promoting, that they're putting out there is real?
Just like Jussie Smollett.
That's what I'm saying. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Everything is a reaction instead of like actually waiting to form an opinion. And then you couple that with today's fucking cancel culture age where virtue signaling is like the new black. You know what I mean? That's a really sick combination that shows humanity's lack of fucking humanity.
Well, I think because more people are becoming more narcissistic as we
facts.
go on. You know, I think it's like we're so obsessed with image and how we look. And a lot of times to define yourself is to define what you're against.
Facts.
You know, and I don't know. For people out there, just take some time. You know, no matter, like, I could hate all these people out there, but the moment they die, I know enough to just, like, you know, just, like, keep my mouth shut. You know, and, like, I'm not saying any of their victims should forgive him or her or whoever who has passed, but with me not being part of this story, like, I could at least forgive that part of them for, you know, being human. Like, we're all trying to figure out what we're doing here. You know?
And guess what? Like, honestly, you don't even have to have an opinion on something that doesn't concern you.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So it's like if we're not, like, on a first name basis with somebody and something happens to them, we don't even have to have any opinion.
Yeah.
All we need to do is, like, acknowledge that something happened and someone is no longer here, and they could end there.
And that's more to Kyle's point too. Everybody feels like they have to, that because it's all on the internet, that they're a part of it. It's their life now.
That's very
I
true.
saw it on my Facebook, so it's a part of my life.
Right, that's very true.
No, it is not. You are following TMZ. You're
Word.
following CNN. You're following whoever is telling you this
That's
bullshit.
the 2020 equivalent of like when somebody is like a nosy ass neighbor, where like your tree is starting to like drop leaves on their yard, and now all of a sudden it's happening on my yard. This is my business, and it's like, no, bruh. You know what I mean? Like, just like you said, like people think that that whatever's happening in like the stream of consciousness that is pop culture directly impacts them and their lives, and they feel like they have to speak up about shit, or they have, and it's like,
Right, when it has
no,
nothing to do with you at all.
like just keep it moving, my guy.
And the other thing is they think they're doing something.
Yeah.
It's like, no, you're just posting a comment. You're just putting negativity out there.
Right.
You know, it's like, you're not doing shit.
How much is that, do you think, is people just afraid to, like, FOMO? How are people afraid to, like, not be a part of something that's happened in history that they feel like they have to?
It's a big thing coming out now.
Yeah.
More and more people are experiencing FOMO.
Yeah.
Right.
And
like
at
you-
least showing signs of it.
Facts. Like, you don't have to fucking be a part of everything. You don't have to have an opinion on everything. You know what I mean? So it's fucking sad, and the only thing that we know is real as fuck, that is like not, doesn't take into account anyone's political or moral points of views. The only thing that is like tangible, that's real, is that like Juice WRLD is fucking dead.
Yeah.
And that's sad as fuck, and no one should ever pass away that early, regardless of how much impact you have on pop culture, music, whatever it is. Anybody that dies that early, it's just not, it's unfortunate. You know what I mean?
Yeah. People think they know everything, but they don't. And
Yeah,
it's just
man.
like, I mean, I'll just close. I think that's all I got to say. Like, it is sad that Juice WRLD passed away. I think I'm going to go through his music, because I didn't really listen to him. I only hear.
I listened to him. I've liked a few of his songs. I think there was about 3 that
You were
I
the
was
one
just on top of the whole time.
You put me on Juice WRLD. He was the
Yeah.
one that showed me fucking Lucid Dreams and
Yeah,
shit.
it's a good song.
And you know, like I'm not a huge fan of that genre, but I will say that out of everyone that's come out of that genre, and I'm including God Bless the Dead, fucking Lil Peep and Tentacion, I do think that Juice WRLD was the most talented out of all of them.
Oh yeah.
Because like I think he had just like in terms of like taste, he seemed to have the most relatable, well, not even refined to me, like relatable taste to me. And I think it proved too the features he was doing. Like he could be on a Halsey song. He could be on a fucking, you know what I mean? Like he's like, it just showed that like he wasn't just tied to that genre.
Yeah.
And a lot of the things, like again, it's like the same thing that I love about Billie is that she's like a child, but I could relate to what she says. As much as like we could make fun of Lucid Dreams sometimes for being over the top emo. What he's saying in there is just like, damn, I felt those things before. And not only did I feel those things before, I felt them recently. You know what I mean? So it's like, and I didn't necessarily feel that way about any of Tentacion's music, except for maybe Sad, I guess. But that one's because more, even then, not as much. Like I could relate to like if we're taking like the biggest songs each one of them has had, I could relate to Lucid Dreams a little bit more than Sad. You know what I mean? And it sucks. He was really talented. He and like the outpouring of support, you could tell he was like genuinely a good person. And he never had anything like, you know, like again, like I don't think that you should hold Tentacion's past against him because he was a child. You know what I mean? When all that shit went down. But like I never heard stories like that about Juice WRLD either. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even Peep had a lot of stories about like how he was in like a very toxic relationship. They were like Sid and Nancy, him and his girl, and he was always on heroin. And then you know he ended up ODing on heroin and stuff like that. There was some things that we heard about Juice WRLD about him like abusing perks, sipping lean, and all that shit. But for the most part, the overall story, the thing that the ethos behind Juice WRLD was always like good for the world. You know, so it's sad. It's really sad.
Yeah, it is sad, and rest in peace. You know, I'm gonna listen through. I'm gonna give him a listen, and I don't think people's opinions out there. I think it's just gonna keep getting worse of how people put negativity out there.
The world's just getting more critical.
Word. And like the thing is, they don't realize these things are usually coming from such a privileged place.
Hell yeah.
You know, you don't know.
All these people saying that shit are all fuck. You don't see anybody that's like, I never see comments from like people from the hood or some shit that is like, fuck him, he didn't deserve that shit. Like, or he deserved that shit and fucking like, it's always like the white girl from Danville.
Yeah, exactly. Because I feel like when there's a death, a lot of times people from the hood, they respect that.
Yeah.
You know, they pay homage to
damn,
that.
Bro, been there.
Would die too young.
At the very least, let time go by. You know what I mean? Let his family fucking mourn him without having to see these one-off comments. And the thing that's sad too is usually the negative-ass comments get the most reaction. Yeah. Not even likes or positive things. They just get so much reaction from people saying, hey, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. That algorithms push those comments to the top. And when you see like a picture of Juice WRLD on someone's IG and then a sad caption, the first comment is usually a troll. And it's just like, damn, that sucks. Because like even if it's like no, everyone's responding to say fuck this guy, it got so much reaction from people that it's just like it perpetuates this the optics of like most people that you see. Like if you don't know who the fuck Juice WRLD is at all, and it just ends up on your timeline, the first thing you see in terms of comments is people saying he was a bad person. Right. And most people will keep scrolling and move on with their day, and their whole opinion of this person now is that one comment they saw. Yeah. And it's just like, it's fucked, man.
And we don't really know whose voice that is that's saying that. Like, do you know Juice WRLD?
Yeah.
And even if you did, just like, chill out.
Yeah, man.
You know, like, you're just being a hater.
Right. I can't imagine.
A hater.
Yeah, I can't imagine like being Juice WRLD's mom and then something coming up on your timeline and seeing a picture of your son. Yeah. And then the first comment you see was like, he was a druggie, he piece of shit. Good thing he's dead. Like, fuck, dude. Like, I can't imagine that shit. It's fucking so sad.
Yeah. Well, do you have other things to say about this topic, Xani?
No.
No.
Rest in peace, man. That sucks.
Yeah,
that
man.
he died so young. I didn't really
Juice.
fuck with anybody in the genre other than him.
Yeah.
Like he said, Sad from Tentacion was pretty good. I didn't really fuck with Lil Peep.
Yeah.
I like that one song he did after he passed away.
With McConan.
And
Let me down. That song.
yeah,
Yeah, that song's hard as
with
fuck.
McConan and Fall Out Boy.
Yeah.
Really?
Such a random
Yo,
fucking
that shit
trio.
is fucking fire.
It's actually, it was a hit, bro. I was like dancing, and then I heard Lil Peep's part, and I didn't really fuck with the song anymore. But then it came back, and I was like, yeah. But
Yeah,
no,
man.
yeah, that's my.
I just remember. I remember what was it like? Was it 2 years ago? Zans was like, "Yo, listen to this song," and then after that, I heard it, and I was like, "What the fuck? That's Sting's "Shape of My Heart." Like, damn, somebody sampled Sting, and everybody knows my dad is like the biggest Sting head, and I also like Sting. So hearing that, I'm like, oh, that's cool. Somebody in hip hop sampled Sting, and like just like whenever you hear somebody sample Phil Collins and stuff, I'm like, oh damn, that's interesting. And then I was expecting it to be really bad, and then my first listen, I was like, this is kind of corny. But then you keep listening, I'm like, this song's fucking tight, man. It's really sad, and yeah.
Super
Well,
sad.
that's it for Juice WRLD. Rest in peace.
R.I.P.
Yeah, it is hard to find a segue into this topic.
Yeah.
Because that's a very serious thing, and then we're going to talk about video games.
Oh,
So, yeah.
yo.
What's coming out? What did you see today?
I didn't even know. So apparently this was announced yesterday, 2 days ago.
2 days ago, I think.
Bruh, like I didn't know this was a thing. I've just been so fucking caught up and busy and shit like that. And then right when we were here doing pre-production, Vinny was like, bro, what y'all talking about today? And I was like, oh, we talking about, Mandalorian, Disney Plus, Juice WRLD. What y'all watching, hoes? The Legend of Bagger Vance? Take that bullshit off.
Resin.
I brought a couple of DVDs over. What you bring? Dr. Zhivago. A bridge over River Kwai. A brief encounter.
Oh, yeah,
A lean night. Oh, man. Sorry.
That shit's over a decade old now.
Dude, for sure. And to me, it's the GOAT YouTube video. But like, it didn't age well because then you show it to like younger people. I showed it to Cammy, and she was just like, "This is
Y'all
cool.
think this is funny?"
Yeah. But anyway, so like, Vinny was like, "What y'all talking about?" And I told him, what we had on the dock, and he was just like, "No RE3." I'm like, "Wait. Did you just say RE3? You mean Resident Evil 3?" He's like, "Yeah." You didn't hear about it? I was like, "No, what the fuck?" And he was like, "Come in my room." And you know how he has like the Twitch set up in his room? It's fire. Vinny has like a fire setup in there.
I like his mic.
Right? Wait, pause. Holy
Pause.
Hey, yo. Oh my god, that is crazy. That's nuts. That's insane. Oh yeah, I like his mic. Bruh, come on. Okay, let me center myself. Anyway, I'm breaking things now. But so me and Xani go into his room, and then he puts
He's like,
on a video.
I like your mic.
Xani looks at the
That's
mic.
a really big mic you got there.
Xani's like, damn, I like your mic, big dog. Hey, bro, can I see that mic? Oh my god. But then he shows me the trailer, and I fucking like didn't connect the dots because like RE2 remake came out last year, and did y'all play that?
I haven't. I want to.
Oh my! We were supposed to play it together
Yeah.
for Soft Reset, and then we never did it. So I was like, "Fuck this guy! He's not gonna make me wait that much longer."
You played it?
Yes.
Shit.
Did you?
No, remember we're gonna do this.
Oh yeah, we're
playthrough
gonna do it
thing
on
of
our
all
show because
Resident Evils.
him and I are never gonna do it, so we're gonna do it.
Yeah.
Because me and Holographic Children, we thought we were gonna do gaming shows together. Then we filmed like 6 episodes of me and him playing Shenmue. Then he gave up on it, and
I
now
was
he's
like,
doing.
God, this is not funny.
And then he was just like, and he's doing. But the thing that's crazy is like, he played other games and he put that episode out instead of putting off the stuff we did. You know what I mean? So I'm like, fuck this guy. We have video game show beef now. So.
I only played Silent Hill when I was a kid. I didn't play Resident
Dude,
Evil.
that used to scare the shit out of us.
Silent Hill gave me nightmares. I don't know why I played
dude.
it. I don't know
The
why I played it.
pixelated monsters they got. Just
Yeah.
It's so great.
You know the thing about that too is that I think that's my opinion and we're off on a tangent here, but I think like the things that I love so much about games from that time frame is that like they were very aware of like the shortcomings of their graphics. So they focused on building moods and atmosphere. That's the word I'm looking for. And like that's why like to this day you play Resident Evil 1, the very first Resident Evil, you listen to the shitty voice acting and it gives you a little laugh, and you look at the graphics and it's literally polygons walking around a fucking still JPEG, but the atmosphere they create is so incredible that I'm still scared playing those games in 2019.
Yeah, and I think with the limitations too, and this is going with Silent Hill, what made it so creepy, and especially like the old Resident Evil games, is that it's so uncanny with the sounds that they make, because it doesn't feel natural.
Word.
You know, and that's what they focus on with Silent Hill. They're like, the footsteps need to feel like unreal.
Yeah.
Even the monsters and stuff like that, the doors creaking.
Yeah.
It's like hiding in a way that just creeps you out. It's like you won't hear that in the real world, really, you know.
Yeah, and like, you know, with Silent Hill, like the big thing, the difference between Silent Hill 1 and Resident Evil 1 is Silent Hill 1, at least the majority of the game is played in such an open map. But if you think about like the graphical shortcomings of the PS1 is they couldn't load everything. So their solution to that was, let's make it foggy so you're only able to see so much. So we could not render certain things and only render it as you move close to it. So it was like a trick for them to do it so that they would be able to run the game with a limited CPU and memory on the PS1. But what ended up happening is that they've created such an eerie atmosphere by doing that. And that's why a lot of the newer horror games don't do it for me, because like they have the power to show everything. Yeah. And they do, and they rely on jump scares. So it's like, this isn't even a game. I'm just playing to get scared, really a cheap scare, and then that's it. It doesn't stick with your bones. Like, as much as Five Nights at Freddy's is popular, and I played them. I don't give a fuck, though, because it's like the scares were cheap. It doesn't matter. It doesn't stick to your bones. It doesn't feel like you lived through something. Unlike Silent Hill, you're in this crazy huge town that you can't really see around because it's fucking fog. And when the monsters do show up, it matters. Yeah. You know what I mean? With Resident Evil 1, you can't they can't fucking load the entire mansion. So how do they do it? Every room you enter, the loading screen is opening the door, and it's a creepy sound. Takes away all the sound design, and once you get into the room, then it loads, and then you're like, oh my god, there's 7 zombies in here. Like that is like that's the reason why these games are scary, and that's why they're better from back then, in my opinion. Like, they're better games back there because they were forced to be more creative and all that stuff. Now they're cooler looking games, and they're more
detailed,
powerful in terms of gameplay, but they don't stick to my bones as much.
They don't. Yeah.
However, I will say Resident Evil 7 was a return to that, right? Because like they used the fucking power of the graphics engine of the new generation, well, the current generation consoles, PS4, Xbox One, and all that stuff. But they also brought back atmosphere. You know what I mean? And usually when you're playing a first-person game, it's like an action game. Not 7. In 7, it feels like you're struggling to survive the whole time because of limited resources. You're not OP as a character. Like, you're probably the weakest thing in that fucking game. You know what I mean? That makes shit scary. You know what I mean? Resident Evil 2, since y'all haven't played it yet, is similar. You know, the thing that's fucked up, too, because, like, how Resident Evil 4 did the third-person perspective, and then how they did it with 5 and 6. Yeah. It's very action-based, just like Gears of War, same perspective, and it's very action-based. You have so much control, and you can see everything. Right. So, you know what I mean? Like, that's why it's like, so it's good for action games. Awful normally for horror games because you see too much and you're too aware of your surroundings that nothing scares you, and you feel like you have the power to make shit happen. But RE2 did such a good job with keeping the lighting low.
Taking your power.
Yeah. The resources are fucking limited, like very limited for a new age game. And then also, they take advantage of the power of the consoles by not... in the older games, you get kind of used to the layout of the mansion or the town, and you know when the monster is coming, you know where they spawn and all that stuff. They completely randomize the spawning of the zombies. That's cool. If you kill a zombie in this room, it'll probably stay dead for the next 2 or 3 times you pass through the room. The 4th time, it's gone. You're like, uh-oh. And it's not like it just disappears. More zombies are added to other parts of it. You know what I mean? So they're using the power in more thoughtful ways. And that, I think RE2 is contender for Game of the Year this year. Now, I didn't connect the dots that RE2 came out last year and it killed it, and that obviously the next step is to do RE3. And RE3 is arguably a lot of people say RE3 is the best Resident Evil game ever. There's a lot of people that say RE4 is the best Resident Evil game ever. I think 4 is the only good, like, third-person action style one. I still am a huge proponent of the first Resident Evil, but the remake for the GameCube, I think that's the perfect Resident Evil game. But RE3's up there, and the fact that they're going to remake it in similar fashion as RE2 is fucking sick.
Yeah, they're definitely smart. I think they've learned from 6 and 5 that
those games sucked.
that what people want, because you just alienated all your fans.
Literally, yeah.
And I was worried when 7 came out. It was like first person. I don't know. It's not until I see gameplay.
Right.
It's like, okay, I could tell that it's gonna be like a horror survival. You know, you're limited in supplies. You're scrounging for them, and like the scariest part in the older Resident Evil games, Dino Crisis, is when you run out of bullets.
Hell yeah.
And you're like, there's no bullets at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't just have crates sitting around
Right.
filled with bullets. This isn't fucking COD. It's fucking Resident Evil. They're trying to kill you.
Right.
And every time with those older games, I know I have to restart the game, start from scratch. Is when I'm out of bullets, I can't find any.
Yeah.
And I'm already like, I fucked this whole gameplay up.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially when you're younger and you play those games, you don't realize that like the point of the game is to not fight the zombies.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like the zombies are obstacles in this puzzle solving game. So as much as possible, since you only have like the point of the game is that you have limited resources, so you have to pick and choose your battles while solving these puzzles. You know what I mean? And in RE7, like you said, like when they first announced that it was first person, I too was like, God damn it. They're trying to go Outlast, like like all those games.
Silent Hills PT came
Yeah.
out. It's like, oh, they're just trying to copy that.
Right.
But
They fucking nailed it out of the park. And then so there was a while where we were all like, damn, Capcom's putting out some shit games, man. Then they put out RE7, and that like got them back on the right track.
here's a question for you though before you go. Do you think that RE2 is so scary even if it's over the shoulder?
I think so.
You think so?
Yeah.
You think it's more scary than first person?
I think so.
Okay.
Well, no. I don't think it's scarier than first person. I think Resident Evil, if we're talking strictly about the perspectives, I think RE7 was scarier in that because canonically it also makes sense. Like Ethan, the protagonist in 7, not a cop. He's not trained at all. He's just trying to find his wife. So being in first person canonically makes more sense there, right? But I also think that the limited view of first person is still more anxiety driving than over the shoulder third person, right? But I will say that RE2 was very fucking scary because they used your expectations against you, right? You're expecting, oh, it's a third person game. I'm going to be able to run around, make moves. And there's really, really skilled gamers out there that will do that, right? But for me, being just a fucking regular dude, like, they used my expectations that this was going to be more of a breeze to get through than 7 against me by limiting lighting, randomizing events. And then when you're Leon, fucking, or even Claire in that, Mr. X literally pops up whenever he feels like it.
Yeah.
There's a couple story parts where he always shows up. But then they, not only do they randomize regular zombie spawns, they randomize Mr. X.
That's
so
good.
There's only some rooms that are safe because they're pivotal puzzles, but they're few and far in between. And I'm telling you, like, in my personal gameplay and also watching other people's gameplay, people get completely and utterly sidetracked from what they have to do because they're running away from Mr. X the whole time. And like, I've seen, like, for me personally, I was doing a puzzle in the garage, which is on the lower floor, and he showed up and he would just not go away. I ended up back in the fucking, all the way on the other side of the police station. Limited.
Fucking frustrating.
Yeah, it's frustrating and it sucks at the time. But then
Goddamn.
when you get to the end of the game, you're like, holy fuck, remember when that happened? And it makes it so much more rewarding and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So if they're going to use that same engine, and it looks like it's going to be, oh, it's good. Oh, that's a big thing. Oh, God, I almost forgot. Well,
Nemesis is it's the third one,
right? Nemesis. So he's already. So he's even crazier than Mr. X.
Yeah.
But you know what? Fucking, I noticed halfway through watching the trailer that Vinny confirmed for me.
What?
Resident Evil 3 is gonna be in first person.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
gonna be.
Whoa,
It's gonna be in first person.
It's gonna be.
And the whole trailer's in first person.
Oh shit!
Me and
I didn't
Xani were
see that
sitting
yet.
there, and I was just like, "Wait, is this all in first person?" And Vinny goes, "Yep."
This will be wild.
And again, I just saw the trailer, so maybe I'm wrong, but we saw
The
the
only
trailer.
time it was third person is when it went to story mode
Yeah,
and she ran
cutscenes.
out the window. Yeah.
Okay, that's. I guess I didn't put that together. Shit.
So if they're gonna use, so they did third person action in RE2 remake, and they made that fucking scary with atmosphere, lack of lighting, and taking your expectations and fucking using it against you. If they do all those three things, and then they do it in RE7 first person, that's gonna be fucking incredible. Because the reason why first person works so well with this generation with survival horror is that most gamers, they play it, including myself, when they play it, they're playing it with headphones. You're also creating this aura.
Yeah.
And the game and Capcom was smart enough, especially with 7, because remember when we played it on soft reset, we both had headphones on.
That was
the
amazing.
Sound design. So now you take that, and then you take RE3.
Yeah.
Nemesis. Oh my god.
I gotta say, like, the thing with the first person, right? I do think it is scarier. Mm-hmm. And when I was playing Resident Evil 7, I felt like it felt to me as if that's captured more of the original Resident Evil as far as the scare factor.
Right.
Because Resident Evil 2, I think, captures the nostalgia part.
Right.
You know? Resident Evil 7 captures the actual horror survival because with the first person, there's that limited view.
Yep.
Compare that to, like, you know, that fixed camera angles.
Yep.
I feel like that's like the way to go around with the next gen.
Yeah, I think so too.
And even with opening the doors, even though like maybe this is just me, when I was opening doors in Resident Evil 7, it felt like the natural evolution of the loading screen door.
Right? Exactly.
You don't know what's behind that next door.
And then the way it felt pushing the door in. You know what I mean? It felt like it feels like when you're opening a door, you don't know who's in there.
Yeah.
You know?
And then I was gonna say with the Mr. X stuff, what I like about that. Because in 7, the scariest guy there to me was Jack.
The dad.
Yeah, and he comes out randomly, and you can't do shit about it. So I think, yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say that's like.
What does he do? Does he chase you around too?
Chase you around. He even breaks through walls.
Yeah.
What? Yeah, and that was like the most stressful moment in that game, and that's when I was just like, "Fuck this game. I love it." But fuck you, game. Like,
do you remember when we were playing it together? Like, the first thing you said was, like, this feels like Nemesis.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because that's what we all said. All of us real Resident Evil fans, when we played 7, and the first time Jack walks through the door, or the wall in the kitchen, we're like, holy fuck, that feels like Resident Evil 3.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And, like, again, like you said, I think back in the day when the graphics were shit, being in third person was scarier because there's fixed camera angles. But today, since there's never fixed camera angles and you're in control of the camera, third person is far less scary because you're in complete control of everything. The reason why first person works great is because, sure, you have complete control of the camera, but your camera is only what you're able to see.
Yeah.
And that's the way to do it in the new generation is first person, in my opinion. Because I will say, like, the best Resident Evil game I think that exists is the very first one remade on GameCube. I think the second best Resident Evil game ever made is RE7, in my opinion.
Okay.
So,
what was I gonna say though? I mean, with Resident Evil 3, I remember that's actually the first Resident Evil I played. I never finished it.
Oh, interesting.
But that's the first one I saw.
Yeah.
And that was when the city's all falling apart, right?
Yeah.
And I just thought the presentation of, like, the apocalypse
Yeah.
was amazing. So I can't wait to see what it looks like here.
So, you know, RE2 starts out just like that, too.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right.
And then, because I remember you run into, like...
But then you go into the mansion.
You go into the police station shortly after. Yeah, 3 happens outside way more. Yeah. So it's in Raccoon City way more.
Oh, yeah, I guess there's that, the subway.
Yeah, and then you meet with the mercenaries. Yeah, it's definitely more about Raccoon City, the third one. You're right.
I gotta say, though, you were mentioning this, right? Where, like, we're at this point... with our age group, where all the classic games we grew up with is getting remade, and that's why we're like very excited. Yeah, I gotta say, with Resident Evil 2 remake, I was so amazed when I saw the zombie design, because like zombies to me stopped being scary. Right. But when I would actually see like the details and the way they move is so uncanny, and I think this like I am more excited than pessimistic about games being remade now.
Yeah, me too.
Especially with Final Fantasy VII coming out, and they seem to be getting smarter and know what they're doing.
Right.
You know? Like,
well, did you guys play Doom? The
remake?
I did play the
not.
remake of Doom.
It's so much fun.
That was sick.
It's really hard.
Yeah.
They added. It's way harder than it used to be.
Yeah.
I mean, compared to the first one was an arcade game.
Mm-hmm.
So like, the first one was an arcade game, so it was a lot fucking different. But now, oh my god, it's so fucking hard.
Did they stay pretty true to the source material?
Oh yeah, it's basically a remake of the very
awesome.
first one.
Because I remember the third one, they went for the horror route.
Well, it's still pretty horrific.
But like this is like survival horror route. I remember.
Yeah, but it's like Yeah. Oh, okay. I get what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the third one, they did just go kind of a horror where you're kind of like Resident Evil, running around trying to get away from the monsters. Whereas this one, it's a lot more action based. It's pretty fucking scary because you go down the fucking hell and you're so
right.
You gotta fucking fight your way out.
I haven't played the remake. No.
So I would say with the remake too, what they did so well is the soundtrack.
Oh really?
Oh yeah.
Dynamic soundtrack.
The soundtrack is so awesome.
Yeah, to like whatever you're doing, the music's following you.
That's sick as fuck.
Yeah.
Soundtrack is like 25% of any game. You know what I mean? That's dope, man. I think the good thing about like the time frame we're at now is like I think game developers are realizing that the reason why we want the remakes is because we love the original so much, and they don't take so many creative liberties this time. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, there's some things you have to change. Just like with RE2, like, the reason why it was so effective was the thing that I thought I didn't want was them changing certain things up.
Yeah.
But that's why it was so good. So, so it opens my mind up for, the remakes coming out now. As long as you stay as true as possible to the source material, and then you throw a little bit of stuff here, just like with what Marvel movies does, you know what I mean? Like, as much as there's, like, very different storylines for each hero, they stay very true to the essence of each character. That I love it, you know what I mean? And I think as long as I love that games are being remade now, because I think there are games that really fucking deserve to be seen in this light. Especially with the 7 remake, the main thing I always say was like, no, it better be fucking this. It better still be this. It better be that. And the cool thing that Square Enix is doing is they are staying so fucking true to the source material, but there's little differences, updates. It's not like changes, it's updates. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like it just feels like it's being handled by people who were actual fans of the series. Because I think sometimes it gets lost in translation when someone else picks it up, and it's like the Dead Space series.
Yeah.
Where it started horror and then it becomes action. Same thing with Resident Evil. Where I feel like they're trying to like get everyone in to jump in, like the masses.
Just like Final Fantasy.
Yeah, clearly these are niche classics that everyone could enjoy. I think you just have to market it well.
Yeah, I think this is like the main thing we talked about when we were talking about the 7 remake when they got announced at E3. Yeah. Is that like the problem is you did a niche thing so fucking well and created a community. And then you alienate that community by trying to include everyone else. Yeah. Instead of just doubling down on that community, and then that community grows organically. Yeah. It's like what wrestling does. Like WWE did something so great for this community, and then they tried to get everyone involved that this community was like, this is boof. Yeah. They alienated it. So now people like AEW comes and they like, we're going to double down on this community. And now this community is growing organically because the people of that community is bringing their friends like, you need to experience this. You know what I mean? And there's always something to be said about feeling like you're a part of an exclusive club. Yeah.
Definitely.
You know what I mean?
I feel like with Final Fantasy, the way they went, it's like, oh, we got to get Microsoft.
Yeah.
It's like, no, don't get Microsoft. They're not going to like your games.
Right. They're trying to get the people that love Elder Scrolls and all that stuff. And it's like, I understand that there's like a common thread between the two, but very different fan bases. There's people that exist that are of both communities, but you don't want to target that community because you're going to exclude your own. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it's so, I think people are starting to get that. At least the trend so far is that game developers are getting it. Because so far, everything I've seen from Final Fantasy VII Remake, I'm so confident that it's going to be the best game ever. Because, like, they're doing updates to make it feel current, but they're not burning any of us that, like, grew up on this game. Yeah. Like, I think they realize, because even, like, the commercials that they're putting out in Japan for Final Fantasy VII, they're so aware that the people that love 7 hold this game like a Bible. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of us that grew up with 7 like, this has been such a humongous part of my life, period, that if they put anything out that bastardizes that, I'm going to be just as militant as a fucking, like, Jesus warrior that feels like gay people are fucking, like, fucking the Bible up. You know what I mean? That's how I would feel. Because, like, I don't care about anything fiction as much as I care about Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah.
And I think so many virtues I hold to this day and so many things about me morally comes from that game that if they do anything less than like serve me in my like entire life of loving this game, then I'm just going to be like, fuck this shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, we live in a weird time too though where especially with video games you see this a lot. Yeah. When there's like such an open communication between its players and the creators.
Word.
So a lot of times when like a company doesn't deliver on their promise, this community would get so mad at you that you're like in jeopardy, you know, with your titles.
For sure.
I mean, the WWE games used to be great. Now they suck.
Oh my god,
yeah.
They're so trash.
I'm like in awe with how bad this one.
The newest one looks like the graphics look like they're from 1998, and it feels like WCW Nitro all over again. It's
and
horrible.
it has some of the most terrifying glitches
in
the history of life. How could a company that makes that much money
go that cheap?
And like. That's why WWE is just so awful right now, dude. Yeah. And not just because of what I think their ethos as a wrestling company is fucking seeping into every other venture they do. And like it's funny that they literally can't do anything right. Literally can't do anything right.
They stopped making movies.
Yeah.
Because the first Marine was pretty good.
That one was pretty good. I also like the one with Becky Lynch and Shawn Michaels.
I haven't seen it. I heard it was pretty good.
It's actually okay.
I really liked See No Evil with Kane.
Oh yeah, that one was really good too. I think Kane is a slept-on actor in my opinion.
Oh yeah, he's pretty fucking good.
He should have done more stuff, but now he's the mayor of Knox County, Tennessee.
Yeah,
so,
he's just doing good shit.
It's crazy that like you know what I mean. Like how does some company that big with that kind of resources put out a game that shit in 2020?
Right,
2019. I mean,
it doesn't make sense. That's like fucking the NFL. Fucking making Madden every year, and then all of a sudden they're just like, "Fuck Madden, we're making
real.
Blitz."
That
would be cool.
That would be cool.
Not just Blitz, but like Blitz 1995. Like it's horrible.
What do you think? Like, I think this is another conversation to be had for games that come out every year, like WWE and Madden. These games, I think back in the day, and I'm curious to hear Kyle's opinion on this too. But back in the day, it was much more necessary to put out games every year.
Right.
Because you didn't have the opportunity to update rosters and things like that. Whereas now, we could just patch that in as an update.
Right.
That I don't think it's necessary to make a game every single year.
Well, then they force you to sometimes. So they'll be like, they'll let you update the season once.
Yeah.
And then once the new game comes out, they'll be like, no more updates for the rosters.
Maybe that's the way to do it moving forward. But I think that concept is just outdated at this point. Like, you know how like back in the day, like they would put out, it was necessary to put out a Madden game every year because there's new teams, new rosters. You could upgrade the graphics. You couldn't do that with updates before. Now you could patch things, you could update rosters, you could update graphics with updates, software updates, right? So why would you cuz like think about making a game. It takes a long ass time these days because of like how powerful these engines are.
Right.
Making a game in less than a year and putting it out is a disservice to everyone because it's harder to do it. The quality is trash, and it's obvious that the only reason why you're doing this is to get my $65 every year, right? Whereas maybe you make a Madden, maybe you make WWE like one game every 3 years, and then for 2 years, like you put the game out, and then you just do updates on it, and you charge us $19.99 for it.
The new thing right now is seasons.
Yeah,
you pay for a season, you get certain things.
Yeah.
it's super easy.
Right.
They make way more money doing that.
Right. You know, there's some games that does that I don't agree with, like the episodic games, like for bigger companies that has the funding. If they put out an episodic game, they're trying to rob you because they're trying to fucking like put out an incomplete game that you're gonna finance them finishing it. Yeah. But for smaller indie developers, like remember when Telltale was doing Walking Dead and all those? That's a small indie game developer. I'm okay with giving them my money to play one episode and then wait for the other episodes because they simply don't have the resources. But people like EA that does that hides things behind paywalls, that's fucking fucked up.
That's why everybody was so pissed off about when Star Wars Battlefront 2 came out, because everything was behind a paywall.
That's crazy.
And then within a month, they're like, we're sorry, and then took everything away and started giving us a bunch of free shit. Now they're bringing back the paywall. They're like, well, we got the new movie coming out, which means we got new skins, which means we got new planets, got new levels.
It's just crazy.
You want to play them? $69.99. Pay another game.
Crazy, man.
What? Pay for a whole nother game just so I can get a few levels?
What did I pay you for What did I pay you for this broken ass game that I bought last year?
And they finally just fixed it so that it's actually not glitching, and they put enough. They had games that they put so much detail into random shit that it moving throughout the map, it required so much rendering that you just be skipping.
That is just inexcusable.
Right. And it's like, I don't necessarily have the best internet in my room. I shouldn't say at the house, in my room. Because my room's trash when it comes to internet for some reason.
For some reason.
But like when I try to play that game, I'll be playing Starship Fighter and it's be like into the
Can we talk about how Xani Devito opens the door so he can let the Wi-Fi in?
Yeah, I have to do that. I have to do it. It helps. You have no idea. It helps.
Get a Wi-Fi extender.
I've been looking at it, and there's only certain ones for games.
That's so funny.
There's only certain ones for gaming.
Come here, Wi-Fi. Come here. It's like,
he's like, he's fanning it in. Dude, he dead ass does that.
Bro, there's only certain ones for gaming systems, like the PlayStation and the Xbox. Yeah. And the one that actually works the best takes the internet from everybody else.
That's
in the
actually
house,
true.
so
I noticed that my porn buffers more when James is gaming, and I'm like, damn it! I thought I waited late enough.
So I stopped playing online-based games a lot now.
I
play COD, but COD doesn't require that much rendering. It's a pretty simple game, and then Apex is also very simple. Yeah. So.
How come? But then we play fucking Rocket League and it lags like a motherfucker, man.
Because it's complex. You're fucking flying through the sky with the RC
true.
car playing soccer.
When you say
hear that?
When you say it out loud, it's like, what the fuck are we doing for hours at a time?
And then it's like, and then there's rave music going on in the back. We all got different color cars. There's the crowd.
Yeah. Oh my God, you're right. Jesus Christ.
COD, there's no crowd.
No.
You just got a 12-year-old calling you a F word.
And then big fat dudes breathing heavy into the mic.
Like, oh God, I mute the whole fucking game because of that. Like I mute they actually have a mute all button now.
Word.
You can mute every player even if they're not on your team.
That's hella funny.
It's fucking great.
But yeah, man, I don't think like in this day and age, like companies like WWE should put out a WWE game every year. Just fucking like the way like Grand Theft Auto has done it, where they put out Grand Theft Auto 5, which they know is a masterpiece. The way they've stayed relevant is they'll just like add new game modes online and stuff like that.
Yeah,
some
update
things,
the graphics.
Yeah, some things you have to pay
updates.
for a little bit, but they're still able to make money off that game.
They make more money off of that.
Yeah, now.
They made so much money off of Grand Theft Auto 5.
Right.
That's why they put it all in Red Dead Redemption 2.
Right,
You know?
exactly. And like, that should be the... You didn't play that? Oh my God. I loved that game, and I only borrowed it because like whenever I play these games, I'm playing on Cammy's PS4, but Cammy didn't have Red Dead 2, so I borrowed it from somebody, so I played it really, really fast, and even I took a lot out of it. And I wasn't the biggest Red Dead 1 fan. I was a bigger Red Dead Undead Nightmare.
That was a good game.
That one was tight. I like
that's
that one a little bit
actually why
more.
I wanted Red Dead 2.
Yeah.
Is because I knew they were going to redo that.
Right.
They finally just did it, so I think I might buy it.
Yeah, me too. So, you know, that shit's tight. And I think in this day and age, man, like, companies need to, like, fucking find smarter ways to make money. Especially, like, Madden. Like, so many people say that Madden is the same exact game 4 years in a row with new rosters. If that's the fucking, like, thing that people complain about, just make one game, do updates for it that people have to pay a small amount for, but there's ways to make money. Look at Grand Theft Auto 5 is, like, the perfect example of what it should be moving forward.
And a lot of times, those games that come every year, like Assassin's Creed and shit, first of all, they come out broken.
Broken.
You know? And you don't miss it.
Yeah.
It's like a new one.
That's
like,
actually really true. Missing it is a huge proponent.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, look at Kingdom Hearts. You know, like everyone missed that for so long.
Yo, the reason why Kingdom Hearts 3 made so much money is because we missed it.
Yeah.
Not because that game was good, because that game sucked.
Yeah.
Speaking of
really?
like for them, okay, so here's what I'll say about Kingdom Hearts, right? Kingdom Hearts 3. The battle system is way too easy, but I could forgive that because I understand that their target demographic are usually smaller or younger people because it's the Disney Final Fantasy.
It's like Final Fantasy for children.
Right. But the fact that you said Final Fantasy is a huge deal, right? One of the biggest selling points for Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 was the fact that you're crossing these worlds together. In the original release of Kingdom Hearts 3, all the Final Fantasy characters, not there. They didn't even bother to make them. Nope, not there. Not even closely there.
Yeah.
Why? Because they spent so much time on the Disney stuff. But guess what? All of those Disney worlds in Kingdom Hearts 3 are so inconsequential to the greater plot that it's like, and it's so obvious too, because if you go into the Tangled world and you go to the Frozen world, it's not a story of those characters in the scope of Kingdom Hearts, like Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 were. Like, there was a reason why you were in with Simba and them. There's a reason why you're with fucking Beast in Beauty and the Beast. You know what I mean? Like, the main bad guys are, like, trying to take something from each of these worlds to further their agenda. In Kingdom Hearts 3, they're literally inconsequential. You go to Frozen, and you pretty much just do what Frozen 1, the movie, is. And then after that, you're like, all right, then, peace.
Didn't they say they pretty much just took scenes
from it,
Yeah.
and then they just like stuck in Sora, Donald, and Goofy, like you know, like Let It Go, the most iconic fucking sequence in Frozen. That happens by frame, exactly like that. Except some of the frames, Sora and Donald and Goofy are like, whoa, look, it's Elsa. And then it's back to the movie. And I'm just like, what am I doing here? So that's trash, right? That I can't excuse that. Because the reason why...
That's not cool.
Right. The reason why that existed in 1 and 2 is because Final Fantasy type villains are going to Aladdin and trying to take Jasmine to do the bidding for the organization. You know what I mean?
Right.
Not in 3. It's just like, hey, I'm passing by this world real quick.
Let's stop by.
Yeah, let me see what's good right here. You know what I mean? That's not excusable. The battle mechanics I could excuse because it's meant for kids, right? But I will say that the beginning of the game and the very end of the game is so satisfying for a Kingdom Hearts fan that you're like, I wish I didn't waste 23 hours of this middle stuff.
Yeah.
Being like, by the time I got to the end of the game, I was surprised that I was having a good time. You know what I mean? Like, it shouldn't be like that. You know what I mean?
It's a game. It should be fun.
Here's the sad thing now. You know what they announced this week?
What?
For Kingdom Hearts 3?
Kingdom Hearts 4?
No.
DLC, the Kyrie thing, right?
DLC, not just the Kyrie thing.
What?
There's a DLC package that brings back the Final Fantasy characters
really?
that we were stripped from.
Yeah.
And we have to pay for it.
Wow.
Woohoo!
So is it just like different story parts?
fucking
or
love
are
Disney.
they just like suddenly in the world of...
So, you do the entire game for the most part as Sora, Donald, and Goofy, right? In the end game, you get to use some people from the offshoots. Like, did you ever play like the spin-off games, like Birth by Sleep, Dream Drop Distance? Those games are actually really fucking good. You get to play as some of those characters from those games, which was the most satisfying part for a Kingdom Hearts fan. The end of the game is so dope because it's like, oh, all these games that we played as offshoots in between 2 and 3, they're in the main story now, and they're a huge part of it, and it makes sense, and you're using them. Like, when I was using Aqua to fight Noctis, or not Noctis, that's from 10.
That's from 15.
Fucking the guy, Ventus. You're fucking Aqua fighting Ventus, which is just Roxas from Kingdom Hearts 2. You remember that guy? I was like in tears because I was like, holy shit, they're bringing these fucking stories together. But it would have been even cooler if I didn't sit through 23 hours of me doing dumbass Disney shit that doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, before, I mean, you see the Final Fantasy characters, and of course, that to me, I guess maybe that's a nostalgia thing.
Yeah.
But the Disney worlds felt like amazing.
Yeah.
You know, I felt like that was like the main point of the game.
Right.
Now it did feel like those worlds feel hand-fisted in there.
Yeah, exactly.
Instead of like being Kingdom Hearts.
Right.
You know?
It was there to generate income and market share.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which is sad. It sucks. But so you do the most of the game as those main characters. But as you're doing that, what's happening in the periphery is that Kyrie is training with Axel, right? Learning how to be a Keyblade wielder. So the idea of the DLC is now you're going to play the entire campaign as Kyrie and Axel, and you see the other side of the stories, and then the Final Fantasy characters will be there. So it's like, sure, am I going to pay for it? Yes. Am I happy about it? No. I'm going to see what, I mean, like, you know what I mean? I'm going to see what happens, but like, it's really bad. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, but having said all that, the main point of why we got to Kingdom Hearts is we missed it, and that's why we all jumped on it. You know what I mean? And games used to miss it, and music used to have to miss it. That's why we love Kendrick so much, because he goes away, motherfucker. Yeah. He drops an album, he maybe does some features, he plays a show, and then he goes away. It's not like Young Thug. I love Young Thug, but he puts out 1,000 songs a year, and I just don't care anymore. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Kendrick puts out a fucking album, goes away for 3 years. Hides, comes back, puts out an album that everyone gives a fuck about because we've been waiting, then goes away. You know what I mean?
Because I don't doubt that he's creating as much music as Young Thug would be, but then he like narrows it down. Right. It's like, this is what I'm gonna release, you know.
Right. And that was the norm before, and now everybody is so obsessed with staying in the stream of consciousness of life that people don't realize that they're diminishing their value.
Yeah, it's like exposure. Well, it's like a double-edged sword because you need to be exposed enough that people become familiar with you. And I think once they're familiar with you, that's when you could like. Yeah,
that's definitely that's 1,000% true. Yeah. Like you could afford to go away when your brand is strong. Yeah. If you're building your brand, then you can't go away. Like us, we need to always be putting shit out.
Which I should. Yeah.
But if we get there, please believe like the goal is to not have to do this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But yeah, well, we were talking about the Resident Evil 3.
Yeah, I'm excited. You excited?
I'm excited. I'm excited.
I'm excited to even play Resident Evil for the first time.
Dude, you guys play Resident Evil 2 Remake together? That's an odd couple. Yeah. Yo, we would never expect to have a gaming show with the holographic children and Xani Devito. I know, right? Very different spectrums of the Wave Gang.
I don't know though. We're in the same fucking album. We're in the same
but it's
song.
like but like, would you? Has there ever been a song where it's just holographic children and Xani Devito?
No.
I think if you're looking artistically, whenever you guys are on the song together, because there's the bridge of me and Chemo Slice to help put those two worlds together. If it's just y'all two, that's like buddy cop movie.
Yeah.
I call being Danny Glover.
Subtract.
I'm Danny Glover. You're Mel Gibson.
You know what I mean? Oh, is that your show?
That'd be sick.
Oh, wait. Bad cop, fag cop.
Oh,
no, I'm sorry. What are
You're gonna get us canceled, man.
No, we'll exit out just like when we exit out James. What would your gaming channel be called?
Well, we'll figure it out.
Holographic Xannies.
Holographic Xannies.
DeVito's children.
Yeah.
Instead of Destiny's Child.
Yeah.
I mean, DeVito's children.
I feel like what was hard.
Pause.
I feel like why our gaming stuff did not work last time is we were having too much problems with the stuff. I think now we know how to do it.
But we had so much recorded already that we could have put out. But
we can do it.
You're never gonna put it out. It's okay. We have gaming beef.
All right.
But no, you guys should play RE2 though, RE2 Remake, because it's actually really fucking good, and and it'll probably feed into RE3.
Yeah.
And then we should all play that as the scary game squad.
Do it. Let's do it.
Ooh.
That's
already the name of the show.
That's already a name of a show by the Completionist and his friends. We'll have to come up with another name. But that'd be tight.
Obviously, I don't watch enough gaming shows.
And then Kingdom Hearts 3, the DLC. You know who kind of feels like a Kingdom Hearts villain?
Who?
Billie Eilish. Doesn't Billie Eilish feel like...
I can see that.
What a segue.
Yeah, great segue. I forgot we were going to talk about... Bring up the
what's her problem again, Carl?
I mean, honestly,
what's your problem with Billie?
Thing. She canceled her tour.
Oh, you got a problem with her canceling her tour?
I got a problem with that. I'm not even seeing her tour.
You know, sometimes people got to be people.
No, it's just a short thing. Something I heard.
Wait, did she cancel U.S. dates?
I think she did. It's with the Florence and the Machine.
Wait, does that mean she's not playing in April anymore?
Check it out.
I'll look it up. You guys keep talking.
But I'm just hearing some things about her where, like, once she canceled her tour, and she's just getting a lot of shit from the internet just because she doesn't know who Van Halen is, and she didn't like Lady Gaga's meat dress.
Meat dress?
Meat dress. Haven't you seen that?
No. Is it a dress made of meat?
Yes.
Yeah, Lady Gaga did that before.
Yeah, I mean, she was...
How long ago?
It was the Grammys, right?
Yeah.
Years ago when she was.
Was it bacon?
No, it was like steaks.
Steaks.
Yeah.
I have a problem with that too. Then
Yeah.
should have been
But Lady
bacon.
Gaga fans has a problem.
Oh,
with
it's
Billie
Australian
Eilish.
tour.
Australian tour.
I'm
okay.
still gonna get to see her twice. I'm gonna
That's
see her in San Francisco with Cammy, and I'm gonna see her in Sacramento with some of the homies up there.
Yeah, I mean, it's not really that big of a news. I just want to see your guys' opinion about like the internet attacking her for not knowing shit like this.
Right. I think that also goes into, remember a few years ago when people were attacking Vince Staples for saying he didn't fuck with like 90s hip hop and shit. It's like, bro, a lot of these kids that are famous right now grew up in the 2000s. You can't expect somebody like us, like we even only caught the tail end of the 90s hip hop scene, but we were still affected by Pac, Biggie, and shit like that, Wu-Tang and all that stuff. But we were there for that. A lot of, like, Billie Eilish was born in 2001.
Yeah.
In 2001, Pac and Biggie was dead. Van Halen was done over a decade by that time. How the fuck do you expect these kids to know that? Granted, there's people like us where we go back and listen to like stuff from the 60s and even I'm a huge Kitty Callan fan and she's like a lounge singer from the 40s and shit like that. But like you can't expect everyone to live by that.
Yeah.
So it's like what the fuck are we talking about? You know what I mean? That's crazy.
Yeah, I just feel like in today's climate, you can't really win.
Right.
You know, like
What was the thing with her and Lady Gaga though? I don't think I
her reaction to the meat dress was just like, I think she just said yikes. That's all she said. And then people are like, you know, getting mad at her for like, oh, Lady Gaga's a shit. She was making a statement.
I have a theory, but go ahead. Go.
I think people put too much stake into what people who are
No.
famous say. Thanks for letting me say that.
Oh my god.
I needed to get that out. I don't know if you saw me, but I was sitting over here struggling with holding it in.
Well done.
But yeah, the people put
That
too
might
much
have been the
stake
funniest thing you've said on this podcast ever since you've been added.
People really do put too much stake into what famous people have to
Word.
say and
You
think.
double
Like
down.
it really doesn't matter. But like on a serious note.
No. You're
But
right
yeah,
though.
no.
I also think. Is
I'm
that
done.
all
Yeah,
you're gonna
that's
say?
it. That's it.
I'm glad. That,
Put that steak pun in there. Yeah.
oh man, that's amazing though. I'm glad that I was just like, oh, I'm talking too much again, dude. I have a theory though. I think I know why everybody's tripping.
Why?
I think everybody has been waiting for a reason to hate Billie Eilish.
Yeah.
Because people already think she's an industry plant anyway. And also think about like everything about Billie Eilish is so different than a pop star, a teen pop star, right? The way she dresses, she's not dressing hella slutty, but she has songs that are very sexual. So people want to hate on that. She fucking, as a pop, like the music she makes isn't like a Katy Perry.
Yeah.
So people are waiting to hate on that because like why, like the fact that people are annoyed by the song Bad Guy, they're like, this song is fucking so commercial and stupid. I'm like, wait, have you heard that song?
I know.
That is not a commercial pop song. It just so happened that everyone loves this song. You know what I mean?
Right.
So people are just looking for a reason to hate on Billie.
I agree.
And
I
also,
agree.
she's like a little more welcomed into the black hip hop community than a lot of people want her to be. That they're just looking for something to hate Billie.
Yeah, and I mean, before I have discovered Billie, you're the one who showed me Billie Eilish with our On Repeat
Yeah.
podcast, the very first one, right?
It wasn't the first one.
Oh, right, it's
It was
third
like,
one.
yeah, it was one of the earlier
Yeah.
ones.
But which will be out
Oh.
on YouTube sometime.
So, you know, like we mentioned.
future?
No. Like we mentioned that we're all kind of going on vacation a little bit. I mean, we're going to take a little bit of time off from everything for New Year's. We're still going to be kicking the week of Christmas. You know what I mean? That's what we do. You know what I'm saying? But like for New Year's, we're gonna take a couple weeks to not like put shit out. So in that interim period, we're gonna put out some of our older On Repeat episodes that did really, really well on SoundCloud. And our hands down, our most popular episode on SoundCloud is Billie Eilish because who she is. We broke down the song Watch, and I think that has like 11,000 plays on SoundCloud. So we'll put that on YouTube for the rest of y'all to see that shit. Hopefully we don't get flagged by YouTube police.
But I was gonna say is before I knew about her and when I was beginning to discover her, I was thinking like, oh, I'm not gonna be into her music. I'm gonna hate her.
Yeah.
But listening to her is like
Damn. The things Kyle used to think of when I would bring a song to the podcast. I'm going to hate her.
I'm gonna hate this bitch.
I mean,
just 'cause
not
I know.
hate her, but like not
No,
gonna
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
relate to the music.
Right.
Something about that name,
Because it's
Billie
pop,
Eilish.
you know, and it's like a younger
Yeah,
girl
pop by a 15-year-old?
by a 15-year-old.
How will I like this? Yeah.
But like, you can't deny her voice.
Yep.
You can't deny her creativity and how different she is.
Word.
And that if she's an industry plant, well, she's doing it all wrong because an industry plant would be like a Katy Perry
Right.
type, you know? Like, so I just don't get how people could hate her other than like they haven't hated anything in a while.
Right. You know what I mean? Like, that's
So
true.
they just want something wrong in their lives.
That's
and
true.
And that's it.
That's true. Hell
What's wrong
yeah.
with my life? Billie Eilish is what's wrong with my life.
Hell, they're like, I thought this was a new Billy Idol song. I thought this was White Wedding Part 2.
She's like, and I'm looking in a crowd. And they're like, I hate that shit.
I'm a looking at a crowd.
I don't remember
That's
the
a
real
Xani
lines.
Devito cover.
But
I am a part of the band Depths of the Down. We're a cover of the band System of the Down.
I'm the cover of the band. You should see me in a crown.
but you bringing up Bad Guy,
Yeah.
like to me, I think that's an amazing
It's an
song.
amazing song.
And like, yeah, it's pop. It has some electronic like hip hop stuff.
Yeah.
But she makes it her own that
Right.
it feels unique. You know,
Right.
like
And when you
I
hear
don't know.
that song, it's so different from a normal pop song.
Yeah.
And you listen to the album, that's the most normal song on the album.
yeah,
Like, people don't realize that, like, Billy's When We All Fall Asleep, Where Do We Go? Such an important album in pop music because it doesn't follow the fucking pop mold that has been passed down to generations and generations. And it is literally it's been the number one album. It's been the
Yeah.
longest reigning number one album in 2019. There's no way in pop music, especially today when everything sounds the same. No
Yeah.
way that an album like that should be this impactful. No way.
and it's different too if like she dismisses Van Halen or talks shit about them, but she just basically saying she doesn't listen
She
to them.
literally just said, I don't know them. What
Yeah,
Vince Staples said about Biggie and Pac is more offensive than what Billy said.
Yeah, and
Why
I
does
get
she
it.
have to know them?
Thank you.
It's like, why does she have to know who they are?
Thank you.
Yeah, right. Like,
I'm not. Why are you upset at that?
Right.
Is
Why
that
does
like-
that? What is that? What?
Yeah.
How does that affect your?
Am I
life?
supposed to know like every single sonata by Bach?
but like you hear it from old heads too
For
when they
real.
like look at like hip hop, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
in a way, they have more of like an argument there, where it's saying you're like eating off of hip hop,
Right.
You know, of rap,
Right.
And you, in a way, you do have to respect your dues to the people who came before.
Yeah, the people that laid the foundation down.
But there's no way Van Halen's gonna add anything to Billie Eilish. I mean, it can. Maybe if she listened to it, maybe she. But like so far, what she made.
There's no way. I just want to reiterate what
Yo,
that man
you know,
said.
every
There
time
is
I hear
no way.
might as well jump. I'm like, oh my God, bad
Billie
guy.
Eilish.
Damn, when you listen to You Should See Me in a Crowd, don't you just hear Eddie Van Halen's guitar solo in fucking Billie Jean? wait, no, it's Beat It. Don't you hear that in Billie? Fucking stupid.
Oh man. But yeah, that's
Fuck
just
them,
a
man.
short aside. I don't really have much to say about that.
Yeah, I love Billie, and her album this year is
killed
most
it.
likely
Killed it.
number one.
That's most likely your number one.
Most likely.
All right. Oh wait, I was like going off of the decade.
Oh no.
song, like-
It didn't even make my decade list. But if you ask me again in 2 years, it's probably in the decade list and much higher than where "Don't Smile at Me" is.
Yeah.
I just didn't include anything from this year
Yeah.
or last year, really. Yeah. Lily Allen, because that album means a lot to me. But that didn't even crack my top 10. Was it like 15 or something like that?
I think so. Yeah. It was pretty low there. Yeah, that's pretty much it. But
No,
You
the creme de
guys-
la creme?
what was it?
None.
But yeah, so
This man's talking about creamy mics and shit. Jesus fucking Christ, man.
I'm a little worried about our mic right now.
Hey, yo. Jeez.
But anyways,
That's fucking crazy.
right now we're gonna talk about the Mandalorian and Disney Plus. I'm caught up with the Mandalorian. I know I was a little late on that, but you guys were like really recommending it. So we
That's
can,
a liberal way to put it.
but we could go about it in several ways. We could either talk about episode per episode, which I'm down to talk about because I think each episode does deserve.
Yeah.
It's a little bit. It's hypnosis and review, or we can just talk about everything we've caught up with for now. What do you guys want?
Let's talk about it overall.
Overall?
Because, I mean, there's 5 episodes.
Yeah, let's do it. We can do episode by episode.
Okay. So we'll start with episode 1.
That's what you meant, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, let's do it.
We'll start with episode 1. I'll just say what happens. Basically, Mando, the Mandalorian.
That's Mando. Every time they say Mando, I think of the Mozzie song.
That's
Mozzie
Mando.
Stupid Young. Don't catch a case, don't snitch. That's Mando. Broke, hit a lick. That's Mando. Always with the shits. That's Mando. That's Mando. Hey,
Now
that's
I just see the Mandalorian dropping down in
nigga,
the
that's
music video.
Mando. You know what that stands for, right?
Mando.
Mando, you know what Mando means?
No.
It's mandatory. That's street
Oh,
talk.
That's-
okay.
That's Mando. Dude, fucking Kendrick says it in fucking I in the album version. Remember
did
when
he?
people starts fighting in the
Yeah,
I and
yeah.
he's like, "Stop that shit, man. We ain't got time for that shit, bro. We gotta start uplifting ourselves. That's Mando, cuz. That's Mando, blood.
I
Mando.
thought he was just talking about the Mandalorian. This is the way.
Stop fighting. That's Mando, bruh.
This is
Boba
the way.
Fett didn't die for this shit, cuz.
This is the way.
But yeah, so episode 1, it opens with the bar, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
on
yes.
On the Frosty Planet.
On the
Yeah.
Frosted Planet, and Mando walks in.
That's Mando.
And people are
We need
giving
that
him
drop.
shit.
Damn it. Okay, go.
But anyways,
We do.
he walks in. He doesn't say a word, but already he's walking in really cool. Like you could tell, just based on his body language, you could
Yeah.
tell exactly who he is because you never see his face.
Right.
Because Mandalorians aren't supposed to take off their helmets, right? So yeah, he goes
They're
into
like
the bar.
luchas.
Not according to the Star Wars Clone Wars, but we'll get into that later.
Oh, okay.
That's actually, I completely forgot.
They take off their helmets
All the
fucking
fucking
time.
time.
All the leaders do.
Fuck this show. I'm out.
Wait, though. There's a difference, though.
Why? They're on the man. They're on. They're
But-
on the planet, man, where the Mandalorians are from.
But as you can see with this thing, it happens way after the prequels, which is Clone Wars. It's the prequels.
Right. But the Mandalorian planet wasn't demolished until Empire.
Oh, really?
Mandalorians were around. They explain this in the episodes.
my God, you're right.
So yeah. So they didn't have to stop taking off their helmets until then, right?
No, they were. So it's a little bit of it's confusing because the writers of the Clone Wars let the Mandalorians take off their helmets. If you don't know about the Mandalorians, they're not a race of people. They're a tribe.
They're a tribe.
They're all different types of races and throughout the universe.
Much like
It's-
Wave Gang.
Yeah, they're just they pick them up if they're like they find they're lonely and they want to be a warrior. They pick them up. You know, much like the Jedi, they're lonely and force
Much like the
sensitive.
Wave Guy. much like the Wave Gang.
They're lonely and you can rap. Join the Wave Gang.
We are kind of like the Jedis of rap. Shouts
Yeah,
out
we go
Generation.
pick out all the force sensitive rappers that are lonely.
Anyway, that's an aside, and I agree with you. We'll get back to that.
Yeah. But basically, it just shows the first episode is just setting up how Mandalorian is a bounty hunter. In the very beginning of the scene, he catches a bounty, and you can tell he's like really good at it. Kicked everyone's ass in the bar. Fucking decapitated someone with a door.
Oh, he cut him in
Yeah.
half.
Cut it in half, yeah.
So sick.
And then
The poor black bartender. He was like, "I'll buy the drink." It's fine."
not on my bar, but anyways, just gets on the ship, gets freezes the guy, gets another bounty.
Did he freeze him in carbonite like Han?
Yeah.
Yeah, like Han.
So
Yeah,
he
he
just
had a
had
car-
that in his ship.
Yeah, he just
Yeah.
has a carbonite freezer on his ship.
Because it wasn't the carbonite thing like at Lando's Cloud City, right?
Yeah, it was a whole
It was
giant
like a huge
factory.
room, right? Like
Yeah. Another thing in Clone Wars that was very similar, they used a huge room and it wasn't just a tiny little thing in the ship. So,
because I guess this canonically happens after Empire.
After-
I mean,
Empire,
they could have upgraded the carbon freezers by then, you know.
That's true. I
That's
mean,
like 5 years.
we do
four-
have
it's
computers
like
in our
3 years
hands
later.
now.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. Yeah,
Within
they
just
have
a few
Steve
years.
Jobs, you see.
Who was the one that was like, look,
Who's the Steve Jobs of carbon freezing?
who's the one on stage during like E3 over there? Just like, remember the carbonite fucking things where you had a whole room for it? put it in a fucking spaceship.
What if
We got a mobile one.
That was Jabba was running Apple.
Steve Jobba.
Oh my
Jabba!
The kings of this podcast shit.
Oh my
Anyway,
God.
but then he gets a bounty. He goes after the bounty. Turns out in the end,
Turns out Apollo Creed is the leader of the bounty. The bounty
Apollo
hunters.
Creed?
Isn't that Apollo Creed?
No,
That's
that was
Apollo Creed.
Wasn't it the dude that played fucking
it's Carl Weathers, isn't it?
the guy that played Lando?
No.
Not
That's not
Lando.
the man who played
The guy
Lando.
that played the fucking dude in Billy. They're in a Happy Gilmore.
Oh.
Yeah, Carl Weathers.
Yeah,
Carl
Carl
Weathers, yeah.
Carl Weathers. Yeah.
You're right. My bad. That's
Yeah.
on me.
Yeah. So, but basically, it turns out that his bounty was Baby Yoda, not Yoda himself. At least
We don't
Yeah.
know that yet.
Yeah,
We don't know
don't. We
that.
actually
We don't know that yet.
We don't know that yet.
We
that's
actually
true.
don't know. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I mean,
Yoda
we-
might owe some child support for this baby. He might owe
Raise
Mando
my
some
kid, I
money.
will not.
That's why he was in that planet hiding, dude.
Yeah, he was hiding in the forest planet of Dagobah. It was like
Not my girl, Billie Jean is.
That's why he was wary of like of
Abortion
Luke when he
she would not
came.
have.
It's like, are you gonna serve me papers?
that's why.
Oh my god.
That's why at the end of episode 3, when he said he had to go into hiding, failed. He had.
Oh
I failed to put on a condom. That's what. That's what happened. He's like, I failed to pull out.
Damn,
That was me.
even Yoda was a deadbeat dad, bro. That's crazy.
Anyways, back to
Yeah,
it. We
but,
keep
like-
getting sidetracked.
You could see that Mando has a heart because he didn't kill
Mando.
Baby Yoda.
He did it.
Yeah,
He
even
saved
killed-
him from the assassination robot.
Yo,
Yeah.
can we talk about the fucking the fucking bounty bot?
Yeah.
The bounty droid?
I love the bounty.
that
boy.
guy. I thought he was gonna be a main character.
Same here.
Yeah,
Same here.
but
They have him on the cover
Yeah. You know what I mean?
when
And
it first came out. I was,
So yeah, well that's
Yo, he's my spirit animal. Anytime something goes wrong, self-destruct initiated. That's me as fuck, bro.
I like the part where he's like, "Give me your fob. I'm already here." He's like, "Yeah, well, I am too, and I don't see you with the bounty." He's like, "Fair."
yeah.
He's like, "I got an idea. Let's split it."
yeah.
Fair.
He said that's acceptable.
That's acceptable.
So that's the
Terms
first
acceptable.
episode. As with that being the pilot, what's your review? How did you feel about it?
It was fucking incredible. I was excited for it. It's been a while that I guess Rogue One was the last thing that made me that excited about anything in Star Wars because I thought Force Awakens was good. I thought, Return of the Jedi, despite its flaws, I enjoyed it.
You mean the Last Jedi or Return of the Jedi?
Or The Last Jedi.
Okay.
Despite its flaws, I enjoyed it. Solo was better than I think people say it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, not enough people give Solo credit.
I feel like Rise of the Skywalkers is gonna be really good. But I haven't cared about anything since Clone Wars, I think, like as much as I do now. And I also think Baby Yoda is like literally the greatest character ever because I'm a nigga. You know what I mean? I was watching this by myself. No girl was around. I wasn't cupcaking. I was in my room being a man. And then every time Baby Yoda would do something, I audibly go, "Aww," by myself. And I would catch myself saying,
The shit, he's always fucking with the shit. He took the knob off and fucking started eating it. Then he's fucking with the button.
Right.
And he's like looking at Mando.
and then you're like, "Oh, it's so cute." But I guess we're getting ahead of ourselves there. But like when the reveal, I almost forgot because like I saw the memes before I fully watched. All
Yeah,
the
I
episodes,
saw the memes too.
And I forgot that Baby Yoda was gonna be a thing. And when he saw the ball, and they were like, "There's a life form in here," so I was like, "Oh fuck!" The target is fucking Baby Yoda. And when that hit me, I was like, "Yo, that is sick." You know what I mean? So yeah, after that first episode, that's how I felt. Also, how did you feel about the I have spoken, that guy?
I love
Oh
that.
my
guy.
God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He reminds me of
he's the new
holographic
Yoda.
children.
I have spoken.
I don't want anything. Thanks for making my time better here.
I have
I
spoken.
have spoken. Like, damn, I like that guy for some reason.
Do you want my cheeseburger? I have spoken.
But how did you feel about it?
I gotta say, this feels more Star Wars than the new movies. Yeah, because like with this, when I saw it, it felt the most Star Wars that came out.
Yes.
recently.
Oh, yeah.
I
No,
agree.
Favreau's bringing back Star Wars in a great
Yeah,
way.
because I feel like with this one, it has that Clone Wars feeling where you're just watching things unfold. There's not too much dialogue, and
Right.
when there's dialogue, it's like it feels like it's Star Wars. You know
Right.
the way it's written. You know, like with the "I have spoken" guy. That's something Star Wars would do.
even like Baby Yoda feels like it's not completely CGI, right? He feels
He's not CGI. He's a
not.
puppet.
Oh, see,
He's full on puppet.
Right, and that means something to me as a Star Wars fan. Like those different species was never CGI in the original movies. You know what I mean?
Right. The only CGI one was Yoda in 1, 2, 3.
Right. And like that feels authentic to me.
There you go. It feels authentic.
Right.
And I thought I was gonna hate Baby Yoda because I saw it before it came out, and I was like, he's cute, but I thought it's gonna be like one of those things where
like a Pokemon.
Well, or it's just like extremely fan service and doesn't serve the story.
Right.
Now we find out that's what the whole story is about.
That's what you found out.
That's what I found out. Yeah.
I watched it the very first day. When I downloaded Disney Plus, that's the very first thing I watched. I turned on that because I've been waiting to watch The Mandalorian. And I'm even more excited for when Obi-Wan comes out next year.
The crazy thing
this
is
so great.
That's what I intended to do. But then I watched 3 seasons of Lizzie McGuire.
I'm not gonna lie. Right as soon as that episode was done, I jumped right on Johnny Tsunami and then watched Brink. Bro, you have no idea. I stayed up until 4 o'clock in the morning watching Disney movies, and I got 3 hours of sleep before work. I was like, "This is fucking horrible."
It's worth it though.
It was the sleep was horrible.
Right.
The shows were great because I watched Mando, fucking Johnny Tsunami, fucking Brink. And then fucking Meet the Deedles. Like, it was a great night.
We're just going to, like, get the Disney Plus thing out of the way now since we're running out of time.
Yeah.
Disney Plus is the shit, and it's worth every penny.
Every fucking penny. And if
well,
you don't,
it's worth my penny because I'm not spending.
Thanks,
and if you don't have Hulu or ESPN Plus, you pay $7 extra. You got all 3
now
bitches.
you have it. Yeah.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Have that
I'm about
deal.
to upgrade that shit when I get paid on Friday.
Just so you know,
you're welcome.
This Hulu, just so you know, the Hulu that comes with the $13.99 gives you commercials.
No, commercials.
So you just gotta deal with the cheaper version,
which is
Hulu.
already the Hulu I already have. But the
fact
that
yeah,
it's
definitely cancel and get that shit.
The fact that it comes with my phone provider, so I don't have to do anything. But ESPN Plus is going to mean something to me though, with that extra $7. So it's really what I'm paying for. Anyway, okay, that's our Disney Plus. Let's keep going with all the episodes.
All right, so I guess let's go to the second episode. We see the Have Spoken guy again.
What's his name?
Him.
I don't know, but I enjoy the fact that we have these random characters.
I do too.
Yeah,
that they actually mean something, and it's nice, and then they just disappear. It's like cool.
Right.
And the design for everything, like the animals, feel very Star Wars. Because the newer ones, they kind of feel like Pokemon.
Word.
They're also pulling out. Favreau is literally watching Clone Wars and Rebels and pulling out random little things to put in the show, like the fucking rhinoceros and the fucking little lizard, the piranha, fucking running around giant piranha dinosaurs. Those are from Clone Wars.
Yep.
Like they're from a cartoon, and he made them real live action. That's awesome.
And for some reason, I never really thought about this until I saw it, about how much people in Star Wars get fucked up by animals.
Yeah.
That's very Star Wars.
That's
Dude,
true.
The galaxy's a fucking wild place, and animals are ferocious.
The closest I ever saw Luke dying was on Hoth. Right?
It was.
And it was like
he
that
got his whole,
Sasquatch nigga.
He got his whole hand cut off by Darth Vader. He wasn't dying then.
No, he was
because his
fine.
arm got cauterized.
Yeah, he
but
was
it
fine.
fucking that fucking monster
Even
thing.
fell hella,
Bro, he fucking got his arm cut off and then did gymnastics.
Yeah, that jumped off, fell, and just gradually landed and slid into the Millennium Falcon.
That Yeti though, that Yeti is dangerous.
The Yeti was
But the
fucking
Yeti, all he did was cut off his arm, and the Yeti was fucking pissed.
Here's the thing. Like, Luke shouldn't have fought the Yeti. He just wanted to have sex with him.
Yeti just wanted to take him to the Yeti ball.
What if it's the same universe? Okay, I'm sorry. Keep going.
But well, with that, we just see because his ship got fucked up by the hooded people.
Jawas.
Yeah, the Jawas.
I was so happy to watch them die.
Yeah.
I hate the Jawas.
You hate the Jawas?
I fucking hated them since A New Hope. They're the fucking worst.
That's true.
I gotta say though, with this series, what I commend them for is like every Star Wars thing you see from the previous Star Wars doesn't feel shoehorned in.
Yeah,
it just fits.
It's, like,
it's just a part of the story.
Yeah,
this is the way it works here.
It. Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
But
It's fucking great.
So the second episode, it just kind of solidifies that, you know, he just goes back right and drops Baby Yoda off. Is that the same episode?
Nope.
That's episode.
It starts off. Episode 2 ends with him leaving that planet.
So that's like not the biggest like important thing.
We totally glossed over something huge in episode 1.
What?
The Empire is still around, and
That's
they're making
right.
the whole reason he's picking up Baby Yoda is because someone from the Empire is fucking hiring him to.
That's
Yep.
right.
Yep.
So the
What
Empire
were they
wants-
gonna do? Then we're gonna move into the next episode, episode 3, where he finally gives him to the Empire. What the fuck were they gonna do with him? Clone him?
Yeah, well, it seems like they were gonna kill.
No,
Baby
they were
Yoda,
going. They were
right?
going to. Well,
the main guy wanted to, right?
the
But
main guy said.
wanted
The
to.
main guy said, if you can't bring him back alive, kill
proof
him.
of termination. Yeah,
Proof of termination is required. But the other guy was like, "That's not the plan. We want to keep him."
Yeah.
And
The scientist guy,
and
yeah.
I think it has a. I think a big theory about it that I kind of agree with is that they wanted to clone him because Yoda's race is the most force sensitive race that's ever been brought into Star Wars canon.
Yep.
And like, so that fucking thing's 50 years old. It's a fucking child. It was able to lift up a
Yeah.
rhinoceros. Okay, so they were gonna clone him and make a giant army of Baby Yoda Jedi, Baby Yoda Sith.
I'd pay for that. I'd pay to see that.
I think they're one of the rarest like species too.
We have no idea where they're from, other than
Yeah.
we know that they're from
Dag.
in non-canon they're from part of the galaxy that's untapped that they've never searched, and that we're going to learn about in episode 9
Oh,
because that's where the Empire has been hiding the whole time.
what?
Okay.
That's what? Is that a theory or is that?
No, that's true. That's going to actually happen. We're going to get more proof of a
Yeah.
part of the galaxy we've never seen before.
But you bring up the Empire. What I appreciate about this is they're showing exactly what happened after Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you see the Empire at its weakest because when you go to Force Awakens, you got the First Order. It's
Yep.
pretty much they're
It's
like
pretty much the Empire.
tapped already. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I do like seeing the Empire having to hide in the shadows.
Yeah.
Right.
And how like
It's cool.
yeah, and the effect
Makes
on
them darker
everyone.
again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the third episode is just like basically he drops off Yoda. He wanted to forget about it, even though he's kind of attached to Yoda. He just wanted the next bounty. Got so much money from the Empire, and yeah, every money he gets, he pretty much like turns into armor.
Right, because it's a special metal that comes from Mandalorian,
Yeah.
the Mandalore planet.
Yeah.
That's what. If you, I don't know if you guys heard they were talking about the Great Purge.
Yep.
I don't know if you guys know what the Great Purge was. It was the purge of that metal from the planet. They literally stripped the entire planet until the planet collapsed upon
Oh
itself.
wow!
Yep.
So the people couldn't make money. They couldn't make armor. They couldn't
I
The
make
see.
graphic novels, right?
shit.
the-
No, that from recent graphic novels.
Yeah,
Yes, recent graphic novels.
But yeah, so basically, and you see too that like Mando, when he received the credits from the Empire, some of the Mandalorians weren't cool with that, and you feel like, oh shit, there's gonna be like a power struggle, you know, and after he got his new armor, he still hasn't chosen like a moniker. He ends up before he leaves to go on another bounty, he ends up saving Yoda, and that played out pretty cool. You know, he goes back, just basically
Episode
kills
3,
everyone.
all the Mandalorians coming out to fight. now.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
was each episode has gotten progressively better.
Right. This
And
is
when-
the way.
This
Oh
is the
my
way. And when
God.
all them fucking come out and they're all fucking jetpacking and fucking
Yeah.
Bubba and Jango Fetting around. Oh my god.
Did you have a boner during that? Or
I-
was that just me?
I
Yeah.
did. I'm not gonna lie. I had a full chub.
And I like
My
the
balls
part
were
too
so
that
wet.
even though they were
Balls are
like
so wet.
clashing in the beginning of the episode, that they still have each other's back.
Right, because they're Mandalorians.
Yeah.
The
and
tribe above all.
Catch
Yeah.
a case, don't snitch.
This is
That's
the way.
Mando. Broke, hit a lick. That's
Mando.
Mando. Yeah, that song works so well. Gun tape wrapped around the K to clip.
My favorite line actually from that is "Weapons are my religion." I'm a Mandalorian.
Right.
That is the
wait.
best fucking line
They're
ever.
like, drop your weapon.
He's like,
weapons.
I'm a Mandalorian. Weapons are my religion. No.
But so that's a third episode you get saved, and like so far, I think you know it is getting better as we go on.
Yep.
The fourth episode, I feel like the next two episodes are not my favorites though.
What? Number 4 was
Wait,
even more
are
great
you
than
kidding
number
me?
3.
Number
than
4 is the one with
Mandalorians
Gina
coming.
Carano, right? She's
Yeah,
a former MMA
another
fighter.
great character coming out of nowhere
Yeah.
and just disappearing again.
That was my favorite episode.
the AT-AT coming out.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that was
or the ATST.
Yeah, the fact that we saw that in a jungle was like fucking
and it just comes
sick.
out with the red eyes.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god, dude.
The thing that I thought was funny though was like
out.
they were treating it like it was its own sentient being.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Trick it to go into but I thought that was hilarious. I liked it.
That was pretty good. The only episode that I would say is my least favorite is number 5. But that's just because it's the least action packed.
Right.
Yeah.
It's definitely
it's real story based.
Yeah. See, with the fourth one, I like the story. I think that it kind of took me out of it. Just the look of the world didn't feel as Star Wars to me. The next 2 episodes were starting to feel like, while like the first 3 felt like a movie. The next 2, I was kind of feeling that like it's starting to feel like a TV show.
Starting to be repetitive or something, or
not even repetitive. It's just starting to feel like a TV show, and like we're so close to the last 3 episodes that I guess it's not like the
4 episodes.
4 and 5 were bad. It's just like it felt like they're still necessary parts of the story, but they felt like they were like the filler episodes.
I feel that, and you're entitled to your dumbass opinions. But
don't 5 was definitely a filler.
Yeah.
It felt like a filler
yeah,
for sure.
you know, like I thought 5 was okay too. Like I actually really enjoyed the mechanic character. She was really cool. You know what I mean? But I do think that it was like the weakest one because it was just like the twist.
It was just like let's land on Tatooine. Oh, there's a bounty.
Yeah,
here.
like it was real. The whole point of the episode was like, let's go to Tatooine. Really.
Right.
And the other thing,
it's still a thing.
Tatooine. I just felt like the mechanic and the rookie bounty hunter just stood out to me. Like they feel like they belong in the new trilogy Star Wars than Mandalorian.
Ooh, another thing I forgot to bring up. You guys realize why he doesn't like droids, right?
I still don't know why he doesn't like
Do you realize why he doesn't like droids? You remember the flashback when he watched his parents get killed? That was during the Clone Wars. The droids were killing everybody.
Oh, that's
okay.
That's also why the bartender in A New Hope doesn't like droids.
That's
because they killed his
fucking
family.
true.
I see.
Yes.
Okay.
Wow. That's why we have Xani for the Star Wars breakdowns because he's the biggest Star Wars hit I know.
I'm a huge Star Wars geek.
Him and Vec used to try to go at it, and I'm like, I hate being around you guys. Right
I hate being around you too. Right now.
So, what are some of the like Easter eggs that we miss?
Wait, hold on. Let's not skip over something that I loved about episode 4.
Okay.
The 4th episode. It's not a big deal, but like the cutest Baby Yoda scene in the whole series so
when
far.
He's eating.
No, it's like when he's playing with the kids.
Yeah.
But like the kids aren't playing with him; they're like just throwing fish at him, and he's just like, "This is fine," and the kids are just like they're pelting him with fish. And I'm like, dude, if that was my baby, I would slap up all these kids. But Yoda was so cute. Okay, that's it.
Oh god.
Yeah. One of the important things in 4 though that we shouldn't skip over is they kind of like talk about like there's that one character who seemed to be into the Mandalorian.
Gina Carano's scene or Gina Carano's character.
Yeah.
Wait,
no, that's not
no.
her.
It was one of the villagers.
The one of the villagers.
Oh, yeah, the Mulan looking bitch.
Yeah,
I mean the
took off
Pocahontas
his
bitch.
helmet.
Oh yeah,
Almost
that's
took his
true.
helmet,
That's
yeah.
right.
Almost got him to remove his helmet.
Yeah.
But if
which
he
is
removes
like-
it, he can't be a Mandalorian anymore.
Man, what kind of hoe do you gotta be to fucking try to fuck something you have zero idea what he looks like? She needs that dick so bad, man. You floozies, y'all need Jesus, man.
But I guess like it just kind of shows though, as far as like Mando's character, how.
I don't know what just happened. Keep going.
Yeah, but I was just gonna say how like the lifestyle of Mandalorian is so lonely.
Yeah.
'Cause you can't really connect with other people as much
outside of the tribe.
Yeah, and even people in the tribes don't see each other's faces. You know?
Well, the Mandalorians are hiding now too. There's supposed to be not many left.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then the 5th episode.
It's a little lackluster, but
A little long.
Yeah, I think we all agree that the 5th one's probably
Yeah.
the worst one out of all of them.
it's not a bad
but it's not a
episode.
bad
It's not
episode.
bad.
I
It's not bad.
enjoyed watching it.
But the important thing in the 5th one is the after credits.
Wait, there's after credits scenes?
You didn't see that?
I didn't know there was
Or
after credits scenes.
not after credits, but the very last scene. I mean, because remember that
I need to know what scene you're talking
Yeah,
about.
wait.
because in the 5th one for the viewers if you haven't seen it, so like
Spoilers, by the way.
yeah, so
Wait, we've spoiled everything. Keep going.
yeah, so Mando helps a rookie bounty hunter who wants to get into the bounty
Guild.
Oh, I remember the scene you're
Yeah.
talking about.
They were going after like a very skilled sniper,
Right.
basically shot
Oh yeah, someone
Mando
shows
offer.
up and finds her.
Yeah, so someone shows up and finds her. We don't know who it is.
Right. It's someone. It's obviously someone following him.
I have a theory. Do you guys have theories?
No,
I have a theory.
I have no theory.
No, you go first.
I really have no theory. I have no idea who it possibly could be.
No, you're the A Mike. You want me to go
Yeah,
first?
you go
Oh
first, you
wait,
go first.
actually, I do have a theory.
I have a theory.
Okay.
It's fucking Carl Weathers.
A retwist that nobody wants.
Well, he shot him at the end, but he survived because he put the fucking plate in his chest to give him a payoff.
Okay.
I have a theory.
What's your theory?
I don't have a theory.
You don't have a theory?
No, I don't have a
Okay,
theory.
I have a theory. And
What's your
you
theory?
know who I think it is?
Who?
Boba Fett.
Boba Fett's dead.
That's what
Boba
you think.
We saw him get eaten by the fucking thing.
That's what.
Yeah,
Yeah, you see him-
but we're also really pissed off about that.
look.
We
look,
also
look.
did just talk about
Think
this
about
on
it.
the way here, though.
Think about it. What planet are they on?
Tatooine, but you know there's a lot of other bounty hunters there,
Yeah.
like
No,
Bosk.
it's true. It's true.
Bosk is a huge bounty hunter in Star Wars.
The one thing that makes me think it's Boba Fett, though.
Because it's a Mandalorian movie.
No, did you hear his footsteps and what they sound like?
What, clanking?
They sound like spurs. You should go back to Return of the Jedi when
No,
Boba
you're right.
Fett-
No, you're right.
It's the same exact sound.
Wow.
What if it's another Mandalorian?
Wait, here.
It could be.
Full disclosure, no, I shouldn't say this. I'll say it.
Say it.
When I watched the episode, I was on ketamine, so like
okay.
I didn't notice little things like that.
Yeah, I'll have to rewatch that episode.
But
I
yeah.
didn't notice that, but
Listen to on YouTube.
That's true. I guess it's not confirmed, but because me and Xani was just talking about this on the way here. It was like-
Sarlacc Pit can't
we were
kill
talking
Boba
about,
Fett.
huh?
A Sarlacc Pit can't kill Boba Fett.
I mean, yeah, but they also in fucking Return of the Jedi, they made him look like such a pansy.
right. He
He
sucks.
gets his ass kicked in Return of the Jedi.
on accident,
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, so it's like, so if that's like, I want to believe that, just like the idea of Boba Fett is, yeah, he can't die that way. The Spurs is really interesting. I didn't notice that the first time, so I'll go back and listen to it. But if I'm going off of what I saw most recently of what they portrayed, and like, I also like, I guess retconning it's not out of the picture because at the end of the day it's a Disney property. But it's just like, man, like to me, this guy's been dead since I was a child.
Right. He's been dead for a long ass time.
But people older than you, guys older than you, have been crying about Boba Fett.
Yeah, because
for a
they
long
treated
time.
Boba like shit.
Yeah.
But it's like, let's move on.
Made him look like one of the most badass people in the
I
galaxy.
know.
And he just dies.
Yeah, that did piss me off too, and I was just a kid when I
Because
saw
he didn't
that.
even really catch Han.
You-
Vader caught Han.
You want to know what's hella funny? Is like my fucking dumbass theory that I was gonna say, then I realized it wasn't even worth the joke.
What?
Was that it was Han? You know what I mean? Because like he's survived everything
Yeah.
until Kylo Ren Jepsen fucking took him out. Because Kylo Ren Jepsen is full of emotion for being
Emotion.
for being a fucking for being one of the badass motherfuckers on the dark side. He sure got a lot of emotions.
Yeah.
God
Emotion.
damn, man. Anyway,
But yeah.
I mean, they do retcon a lot in Star Wars.
they do.
though.
That's an
It's-
interesting theory though, and like with the Spurs, that's believable.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be Han.
But
It could be Boba Fett, but I don't think they will because that'll
what
take.
if it's
It's
Obi?
Jar Jar, dude.
Oh,
I think it's going to be another bounty hunter.
wait. What if we find out this whole time Jar Jar is a disgraced Mandalorian,
Oh.
and the only reason why he's a
'Cause he's so
bitch now-
clumsy?
No, the only reason why he's a clumsy bitch now is because he fucking took off his armor and they chastised him for it.
Oh.
Retcon
This is the
that,
way.
bitch.
Yeah, dude.
This is the way.
Guess the way.
Oh my God! Did you were asking Xani something that I thought was going to be an interesting topic to quickly go over.
Oh, which one?
And then we forgot about.
Oh, I was just talking about the Easter eggs.
Yeah,
or
Easter
any,
eggs.
Because I'm not that informed when it comes to Star Wars.
Easter eggs.
Talking
I
to the
heard-
mic,
okay,
bro.
all right,
Easter
How about-
eggs.
How about this? There's another theory I heard from somewhere else who
Yeah.
that guy could be. I don't know this because I didn't really watch all of Clone Wars.
Yeah,
But have you heard of Cad Bane?
yeah.
So they're thinking it's Cad
Cad
Bane.
Cad Bane.
Cad Bane? Is it?
No.
Wait,
Cad
but that
Bane's
doesn't
dead.
make that
Cad
doesn't make
Bane's
sense.
Cad
It
Bane's
doesn't
dead.
make sense in the timeline.
He
Either.
died during the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
Oh,
Boba
okay.
Fett
Yeah.
killed him when he was a child. That's actually why there's the dent on Boba Fett's helmet. Is because they both shot each other in the head, but Boba Fett was wearing a helmet, so it didn't kill him.
Oh, okay, so I don't know.
Yeah, it's not Cat Bane.
Damn it, you got me excited for like a second.
Sorry, buddy.
But I know, because like you were saying, he is pulling a lot of stuff from Clone Wars.
Yeah.
Like, I think even a writer from Clone Wars.
Well, it's a different director also for each episode, so there's that.
Did you see that Bryce Dallas Howard directed an episode?
The latest one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn it, I wish it was better because I love Bryce Dallas Howard.
T.T. Wakika... What?
Taika Waititi?
Yeah, thank you. He's doing...
What?
He's doing...
Tikka masala.
Tikka masala. I can't say his name.
Wait, is he Cambodian or just Filipino?
He's directing one of the last episodes.
That'd be sick. Another guy.
Tikka masala. He's gonna be... That man's gonna be directing one of the episodes.
There's another guy, an actor who's supposed to be appearing, who I think is gonna be a big character. It's gonna be Gus from Breaking Bad. I don't know his real name.
No, not his real name either.
Yeah, but he's gonna be in it.
I don't know his real name either.
I don't know his real name either.
I guess the one thing I'm looking for this
Titties.
for these titties now for this show
For these
Just
titties.
more
his.
tits.
for these for the next 3 episodes is just to have to see where the story's going now because
There's 4 episodes left, buddy.
there's 4.
Well, it's actually 5 because that was just episode 5. There's 10
Yeah,
episodes.
there's 10
I hear there's only 8.
Well, you heard wrong.
I don't know,
Oh
man.
shit!
I
This
have
is,
only
why,
hearing
this is
8.
why I hated hanging out with Xani and Beck when they would. No, you're fucking wrong.
Let me see.
Dude, you're wrong. And
I'm
I was like,
hearing 8.
before you know it, they're sucking each other's dick at Blarney Stone. I'm like, I didn't want to do this. I could have just been by myself at my house. Now I'm here in the backyard of fucking Blarney Stone listening to you fuck faces argue about Star Wars.
I'm hearing 8. I'm hearing 8. But if I'm wrong, I mean that would be better to have more because I feel like it was ramping up in the last 2 episodes. Kind of slowed down, so I'm just trying to see where else is this gonna go. You know, I want to. The thing I'm looking for is I do want an overarching bad guy.
That's probably what we're just getting.
In your opinion, it's going to be Boba Fett.
Yeah, I think. Well, I don't think he's going to be the main bad guy though.
There's going to be one bad guy it's going to be the Empire. We already have a bad guy. It's the guy who ordered the hit or who ordered Yoda to be kidnapped.
Yeah.
We still haven't seen the Empire come back.
That's true.
They're going to come after what they want.
Yeah,
they
but
paid for.
a bad guy meaning like episode 1, no matter how shitty it played out, there was like Darth Maul.
Can we just say real quick how Disney Plus almost lost
There's
their
going to
entire
be
fan
8
base?
episodes.
No fucking way. That's
8
bullshit.
episodes, dude.
You heard wrong, buddy.
It was so short. Well, you're
I
wrong.
know. God,
How does it feel?
eat my dick, Boba Fett.
Well, sorry.
But what were we saying?
I don't remember now.
I thought they were gonna be left here under my supervision. You thought wrong, Lando, bitch.
I remember what I was gonna say. Can we agree that Disney Plus almost lost all their following and subscriptions by trying to snipe Baby Yoda on the Force planet?
Oh my god!
And then we heard a blast, and we're like, no!
Yeah,
that was it.
I mean, for some reason when I saw that scene, it was kind of comical to me. For some reason,
you were like, yeah, kill him. I dare you.
I told you, he tries to act like he's a nice guy, bro, but he's a down.
no, it's not that. It's just the way it was shot. It's like looking. It's like obviously
we should have known
effect.
he was a piece of shit. Look at the company he keeps. Look at his friend, Downtown Freaky Boy. Both you motherfuckers on the Sucio spectrum.
Sucio was it?
It's the Sucio spectrum.
Means you nasty in Spanish. It's like you pervert. You're on the Sucio spectrum. Man.
Sucio.
God, no.
Oh my god. It just looked kind of funny to me. It's like the sniper scope, and then it shows Baby Yoda, and she's like so cute. It's like, how could you shoot that thing? You know,
Credits.
For
man.
credits. For Beskar.
Yeah, man. Hell yeah, for Beskar. I need that armor, bidot.
yeah.
Who's the girl that plays the elder Mandalorian lady?
I don't know, but she's tight.
She sounds like I could hit that.
She sounds like Captain Phasma.
That's what I was gonna say. She sounds exactly like Phasma.
Is it Phasma or Phasma?
Phasma.
I don't know.
I don't fucking care.
And
She
who,
died.
by the way, needed a better fight scene.
Oh
my god! Like
The only place they've ever made her look badass is in the comic books that they
right,
made.
but did you hear that?
Yeah, it was Vinny.
Oh, okay. But to think about it, that would have been such a great scene for Finn.
Yeah.
Like they should have. Whatever. Okay.
I was disappointed. I guess like I was very disappointed with The Last Jedi. Mm-hmm. Just because of things like that. Like, I feel like they have opportunities and they kind of blew it.
Yeah, I don't think it's as bad as people say it is. I was very entertained by it. And, like, even the fact that, like Mark Hamill himself disagreed with Rian Johnson's decision to show Luke's moment of weakness by almost killing Ben and stuff like that. It was just like, I actually liked that because that showed the end. Like, it showed that, like, the reason why even Luke is trying to, like, end Jedis. Because, like, no matter what, after time, like, theories, like ways of thinking become outdated. You know what I mean? So I liked that aspect of it. There's a lot of things that I didn't necessarily like care enough for, but like it wasn't as bad as everybody says it is. You know what I mean? I think at the end of the day, like since it's a trilogy as well, we were expecting the second movie of the trilogy to be Empire, and it's just like not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think, like, it's a means to get us to Rise of the Skywalker, and I don't think they're going to fuck that up.
I just feel like at this point, the thing they kind of messed up on is that...
Don't say Rey, please.
No. Cool. I'm just saying, like, if you start off with The Force Awakens, it should have been just, like, what's his name? It should have been the same guys who planned out everything. Because I think they set it up and gave it to Rian Johnson.
And then he did something different.
Yeah, it's like he didn't know what to do with it other than, I'm going to subvert expectations.
Right.
He just shouldn't have dragged out the fucking casino planet.
I think that fucked up the momentum.
They could have given a few other things detail, like the fight between Finn and Phasma.
I think so too. That's where that should have been.
That's really longer. The main gripe I have is with the stupid.
Because I actually like that Rey isn't from anything, right? Because I love the idea that you don't have to be of a certain lineage to have attachment to the Force, and I also love that Rey is literally a nobody. You know what I mean? Because even Luke Skywalker wasn't a nobody. You know what I mean? He was like meant to be that thing, right?
Right. He was the son of the one.
Anakin. You know what I mean? So it's like it's cool that now, like the next generation, it just shows that like anybody could have that ability. You know what I mean? And the fact that Rey comes from like Junkers that doesn't mean anything. I love that. And the best line in that whole movie is fucking Kylo Ren Jepsen. After the coolest fight scene in the whole thing goes, "You come from nobody, or you come from nothing. You are nothing, but not to me." I thought that was the coolest fucking line of that whole fucking movie.
I was gonna say
trying to turn her right there,
right? But then he is actually turning himself. You know what I mean? It's a double turn.
Yeah. So I was gonna say like that part of the movie I really liked.
Yeah.
And I kind of wish they ended it there.
It's the best fight scene out of the two movies.
The next one.
The best fight scene out of the two movies.
I agree. Out of the two movies, that was the best one. Dude, the fight with them two against the fucking Crimson Guards. Yeah. And it was the fucking Beats by Dre sponsored Kanye West music video. That shit was fire. That was the best fight scene out of both, like you said, both movies.
Force Awakens and Last Jedi.
Agreed.
Definitely.
And I wish they would have went more into that. It's like, okay, what does that mean? It's like the Jedis are done.
Yeah.
Empire's done. Like, then they're going to start something where you can still see, like, even if they're trying to, like, help each other, they're still going to clash.
Right. I like that. And I think if it ends there, too, you kill off Luke in the last movie of the saga.
Well, he's going to be in this movie, too.
I mean, he is.
But he's just going to be a Force ghost.
Just like, just like Obi-Wan. Like, I always thought Obi-Wan died way too early in the original. Just like, wait, that's it? He's dead?
Over?
Okay.
Cool.
And it was just like, I'm going to let myself die. Fucking, like, Vader kills him. But anyway, like, you know, like, I think it just, like, you know, especially with, like movies like Endgame, when you kill them off in the last movie of that saga, you're just like, damn. You know what I mean? It would have been cool if they ended the movie after that scene, that fight scene, right? Shortened the casino planet and gave a better Phasma fight. And then in the third movie, kill Luke early. Yeah. Kill Luke in the first 5 minutes, the same way you killed Loki.
Yeah, that would have been sick.
Like, Loki dies instantly.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Do that to Luke.
Yeah, and it could also be like Rey and her. It's like, all right, I'll follow you, and things were okay. And then, fucking what's his name? What's it? Kylo kills.
Luke,
and then that's when there's conflict again.
Right.
Yeah.
Because then Luke really dies off of using too much of the Force too, right? It's
Right.
like he went to like
He overexerted his forcefulness.
because that also is confusing. Like think about it, Ryan. Like if you're gonna show Luke as finally having a flaw, how come you're killing him because the only thing that could kill him is him? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, right.
Show him flawed and then make Kylo
Make
Ren
him human.
Yeah, and make Kylo Ren seem more of a threat by killing the greatest fucking Jedi of all time.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
And each movie, I think like
they Seth Rollins at Hell in a Cell versus the Fiend, Luke Skywalker.
They fucking did.
It's Hell in a Cell and
How do
that's
you
a
die from using too much
disqualification.
of the Force?
Yeah, okay. Now,
and I gotta say, as far as like the dark side part or the bad guy part, Kylo Ren is the most interesting out of all of them.
He's on the Susio spectrum.
The Susio spectrum. He is.
He's just imagining so hard about fucking this girl that he sees her, and he goes, "Do you see my surroundings?" She's like, "No," and he's like, "Good, because I've been jerking off to you."
Okay, she's like, "Can you put a shirt on?" He's like, "Fuck no."
He's like, the only good part of my body is my pecs.
I have midichlorians everywhere.
Yeah.
So.
Have you seen? He's like, my dad is actually not Han Solo. It's Marilyn Manson. All right, I'm sorry. Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
Well, I was just gonna say he's like the most interesting part of like like the conflict.
Yeah, I agree.
But like each time in the movie, you see how like pathetic he is with the fights. So it's like in the third one, I'm not worried about him.
That's actually true.
You know, he always
worried
gets
about the
bested
Emperor.
by someone.
Worried about the Emperor and his fleet.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, because Kylo really isn't the main antagonist anymore.
No, the Rise of the Skywalker is him coming back to the light side. I guarantee you.
Which I would love.
Yeah.
It would just mean more if he killed Luke.
I think.
Right?
I think this is what I think the movie's how it's gonna come to an end. The Emperor's gonna be there. Okay. He's going to be killing Rey, much like in the end of Return of the Jedi when he's trying to kill Luke. Mm-hmm. And Kylo's going to be right there, and he's going to cut him in half. But
just like what he did to Snoke?
Yeah, but it's going to be too late. Rey's already going to be dead.
Oh, you think so?
And then he has to bring back the light side and do it all and do it himself.
That would
a redemption.
Yo, you saying that out loud shocked me. So if they kill Rey, I'll probably cry in theaters because as much as I like Kylo Ren, Jepsen, he is the most interesting part of the conflict. I love Finn. Mm-hmm. Finn is like one of the most revolutionary Star Wars characters.
Well, he's the third black person.
He's the third black person, and he's also the first stormtrooper that we see
without their helmet
on. And like, it's almost like taking an NPC from a video game and then like giving him a reason to be there. You know what I mean? It was just like he was such an insignificant part. You know what I mean? And I think that's what Rogue One did so well, was that like everyone in Rogue One, even though like in the movie it makes it seem like such a huge, humongous thing, at the end of the day, what they did was so tiny. You know what I mean? They got the plans to something. They couldn't even execute what was going to be done after that. Luke had to do it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But what they did was so small and insignificant. But again, like we were talking about this the other day, Rogue One isn't a superhero movie; it's a war movie. You know what I mean? It's Pearl Harbor.
It's Saving Private Ryan.
Saving Private Ryan. Yeah, you know what I mean? And I think that's what's so incredible about that movie because you often forget that this is a fucking civil war and people are constantly dying all the time in between fucking Leia looking like a bad bitch captured by fucking Jabba, you know what I mean? In between Anakin doing cool ass races and shit as a child and fucking Natalie Portman giving me boners as a kid. You know what I mean? Like in between for all that bells and whistles, don't forget that there's actually like infantry people that's literally dying at all times, you know what I mean? And that's what Rogue One did so well. Yeah. And I feel like Finn feels like a Rogue One character. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like that's why he's my favorite character of this new saga. You know what I mean? I forgot what my point was of this.
Well, you were just saying how much you like.
It's Finn. A war movie compared to like a superhero movie.
Yeah, Rogue One. Yeah. And Finn, it feels like he comes from that, and it's just cool that like in a superhero movie, in a space opera like Star Wars, they're giving so much shine and attention to a character that would otherwise go overlooked. You know what I mean?
I would say I think what I want from Star Wars now, why I enjoy Mandalorian more, I think Rogue One, and even like the Clone Wars. I didn't watch all of them, but just because I feel like they're filling in the gaps, and they're telling stories that's outside from the original. Yeah, and I feel like that's where like where Star Wars could really be, like shining now. It's telling the stories of the universe.
The universe, exactly. Yeah.
Rather than it's back to like Luke, Han, and Leia.
That's why I'm excited to see Episode 9 because I know Episode 9 is gonna put the end to the Skywalker saga, right? So now we could really, because again, I love Rogue One so much because it's not really focused on the Skywalkers. Yeah. Even though we get the greatest Vader scene of all Star Wars at the end of Rogue One.
Vader scene, but it's the greatest.
But it's better
Vader
than
scene.
anything Vader did in the original 3, and Vader seemed like such a badass in the originals.
Oh yeah.
But you realize we don't see him do a lot in the originals. It's Rogue One where you're like, oh my god, that's that boy.
He tortures a couple people, but we never really see him just like mow down people,
right.
Like
and
he
then,
did in that.
And he used the Force, he used the lightsaber,
Right.
he kicked motherfuckers in the nuts. Like, that is crazy.
And then it ties into
like literally the movie ends like a minute before A New Hope starts, which is why I've been going back and rewatching. But that's so exciting. Another thing that's so exciting about that's come out like after the original was Clone Wars, because again, it's focusing on the universe around it. So I think they're gonna do a grandiose end to the Skywalker saga, which it deserves, I believe. And then now it's gonna give the chance for the rest of the Star Wars IP to be about the universe, which has worked so well for companies like Marvel and shit like that. And
I was gonna say, because like Marvel, I think started with like showing all these separate people and then coming together.
Right.
I think Star Wars has to do the opposite, where like it's this main story arc, but then now they need to start branching out.
That's true. It is the
smaller
opposite.
stories.
You're right. You're right. Do you guys expect Rise of Skywalker to be like Endgame like grandiose?
Hopefully.
I hope so. I don't know.
Hopefully.
Like, it's hard for me to say, and I don't want to like place any expectations for it, because I don't know. The Last Jedi, and I agree, it's not so bad. I just feel like there's that part of me that wishes a lot of things went a certain way.
Yeah, I agree.
To really set it up for the new one, because in a way, I feel like they didn't really. They kind of. There's not in Empire Strikes Back. You feel like, oh, they lost.
Yeah.
You want to see them win.
What a bleak movie.
Yeah,
Empire
what a bleak
was,
movie.
Huh? Yeah.
And this one, it felt like things happened, and then there's gonna be the next movie.
No, that's true.
Things happened, and they're leading to the next movie. So,
do you think anything happened in The Last Jedi that is so irreparable that this one's not going to be that great? I think there's only one thing, in my opinion, and it's just Luke dying by himself instead of Kylo killing him. I think that's a humongous missed opportunity to make Kylo either look like the most intense, amazing bad guy ever, or make his redemption story mean so much more.
You're talking about for Kylo?
For Kylo, yeah.
I mean, now that you basically with your idea of how you want it to be, like now I'd rather see that. I think that will make him his art
much more
better.
of a threat, like you said. Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna be surprised seeing it, because I feel like with The Last Jedi, what I didn't like about it is things happen, but none of them felt. They were all inconsequential, except for Luke dying and the big boss dying.
That's true. Doesn't Snoke also feel like a missed opportunity too?
Yeah.
Like Snoke,
we learned nothing about him, and then he just dies.
Snoke looked so cool, and he could have been so cool. At the end of the day, he got outsmarted.
Yeah, and I like their twist on him too, because he felt more like a gang lord.
Yeah,
which is
emperor.
Interesting. Yeah.
Wait, so I can't remember off the top of my head because I haven't rewatched Return of the Jedi fully in a long time. Does Emperor Palpatine die?
Yeah.
Yeah. So then, who's the Emperor now?
It's Emperor. It's the same Emperor.
Oh, okay.
Same guy. He survives. He doesn't die.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So before Disney took over, after the Return of the Jedi, there was a book about what happened to the Emperor after, and on his way down of dying, he's actually transferring his Force essence into a clone of himself on the cloning planet of Camino, and then he comes back.
Gotcha.
Luke ends up going undercover as his apprentice, but ends up really turning to the dark side anyways. And then he lets the Emperor clone him, and then after that, Luke goes back to the light side and has to fight himself and kill the Emperor.
Oh, actually, I didn't even know that. Actually,
Yeah,
so yeah, as far as I knew, he died.
Yeah, so they're taking
that's why we have
that.
it
They're
in
taking
here.
that from it. I don't know how they're going to do it. Either he's going to be a Force ghost, or he's going to be a clone.
That's going to be interesting.
Which brings up a lot of the theory about Rey being a clone.
Oh my God!
Damn.
Wait, Rey a clone is a theory? Can you expound on that? I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Theory.
Rey being a clone of Anakin.
Oh my
Okay,
God!
okay.
So she's supposed to be
That's why she comes from nothing.
That's why when
Yeah.
she looked in the mirror, there was 1,000 of her standing behind her.
Oh my God!
Wow.
So like we'll see where it goes. But
I like how we're reacting like James wrote this theory.
right,
I
like,
know.
but still,
but like the emperor is the empire always used cloning for a lot
That's
of things.
true.
And
Yeah,
all
yeah.
the games leading up to it, they used it to try to create force sensitive
Yep,
clones to make a Jedi army or a
Yep.
Sith army.
Yep.
Because even the emperor after they took over, the emperor removed the rule of two and said that's outdated now.
What
You
if?
can have an apprentice Darth Vader, and we're gonna have a bunch of we're gonna have an army. They found force sensitive stormtroopers and turned them into Sith stormtroopers.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
Damn man.
and that's actually
crazy.
canon. So we might see the Sith. We're going to see Sith troopers come
That's
out in the new
crazy.
movie.
That's
So we'll
crazy.
see.
Damn man.
I was gonna say, what if this is just a random theory I just came up with? What if like Mandalorian ties into that, and Baby Yoda
That'd be cool.
That would be sick.
is like
Oh my God! A
a
clone.
clone, and maybe that's
In the trailer, there's a scene where they show all the rebel ships coming together, and there's actually ships that, if you look carefully, that are from Clone Wars, are from Rebels. They're all different characters from the shows. So I would be not surprised at all if the movie comes out and we see the Mandalorian ship in the midst of everything fighting with everybody.
that'd be crazy.
Holy fucking shit! I am so happy I'm alive for this. For real though, you know the same way I felt when right after Infinity War and we were gearing up for Endgame.
Yeah.
And I was just like, dude, I can't believe this is happening in my lifetime. Like I know it's just a movie, but it just feels so monumental. You know what I mean? And I think it's because there's so much history with Marvel being like the IP of Marvel characters being so old from like the Stan Lee days and all that stuff. And that's
Yeah.
how Star Wars is feeling right now. You know what I mean? To not as much of an extent because like I think the Marvel movies are still like a little overall better. But like Star Wars has been like at the forefront of pop culture for 4 decades now.
Yeah.
So it feels like a big like event, like a big artistic like landmark. You know what I mean? And it's just cool that like now with all the different types of media we have, there's so many possibilities to make this even a bigger historical
Yeah.
event. You know what I mean?
I mean, they're gonna make another trilogy after that, though, right?
Oh, they should.
And you
I
know
believe
who-
they will. Yeah.
Who I think should write it?
Who?
Should be Jon Favreau.
John Favreau.
Oh, yeah.
He's been the best.
He's
Well, 'cause
gonna
I do
he's
know-
getting more control after this.
Because
Yeah.
wait, isn't Kevin Feige also going to step in to produce a lot of the things
That'd
that come
be
out
sick.
after?
That'd be sick.
I didn't know that.
He's a hella good producer.
That's
Well,
one
they
thing
took-
that's one thing that we all slept on as like the Marvel was acquired by Disney and then all the things were happening and then after that it felt like there's no way you're gonna put these two worlds together. So when Disney was also acquiring Star Wars, you're like, damn, cool, two awesome IPs, and then like, wait, Jon Favreau is gonna be a part of this now after being a part of this, like. Oh, does that mean Kevin Feige could have a say in fucking? What if like
they
go
mash up.
or not even like necessarily mash up, but like they take a lot of the creative like engines behind the Marvel Cinematic Universe and now puts them into this new Star Wars thing. Like, what if Robert Downey Jr. plays a character in the future? That'd be fucking tight.
That'd be sick.
That'd be hilarious.
You know what I mean? That'd be sick as fuck. He's just not gonna play fucking Tony Stark,
he
but
plays the Tony Stark of Star Wars. Though.
You know what I
That'd be
mean? Maybe he's
hilarious.
old Poe.
Damn, that'd be good.
Right? Like, yeah.
sick, yeah.
What if he's like an old gambling buddy that Han was like fucking with before? Han and Lando always had a third motherfucker with him, and it was fucking
Iron Man.
and it was Tony Starklar,
Tone Starklar.
Zondar. What do they call David Zondar Hasselfrau? Hasselfrau. Well, damn,
yeah,
man.
that was
That's good
our
talk, guys.
man.
Good talk.
2.5 hours of straight nerd shit.
Yeah.
Still not as long as our list, but
I also have to say something before we end today.
okay.
So I owe y'all an apology, both of you guys, and everybody in Wave Gang, and
what?
everybody that supports Wave Gang.
What'd you do?
So the last time we three were in the room like this together with mics up, connecting with our audience, y'all will hear this eventually. We were doing our B movie show, which I'm excited for everybody to see. That's something we should start editing soon, actually. It's a show called Not Another B Movie, in which we one of us picks a B movie that we know personally that loves so much, and we show it to the two others. There's drinking games and all this stuff around it. It's a really fun show, really good time. But the last time we did it, I broke the golden rule that I have created for studios, and I shit on everyone for ever breaking that rule because it's a fucking good rule.
What do we call that rule?
We call it the golden rule. We call it the Vec rule.
Yeah,
we
that's
call
what
it the
we call
Wolfie
it.
rule. And the rule is we could drink and turn up while we're at the studio because oftentimes it augments and it helps the creative process. But we never drink before the studio so that we show up and are a disservice to the studio and the creative process. And I broke that promise the last time we three were together, and I showed up wasted. And then halfway through the movie, I was blacked out. So I don't think I haven't listened to it. I haven't brought myself to listen to that episode. I don't know what it sounds like. I'm going to listen to it eventually when I bounce it. But I'm sure it wasn't good. So I owe y'all an apology. So
It was
there you
fun.
go.
I don't accept it.
I don't accept
You don't.
it.
No.
You shouldn't accept it.
So-
and I'll
so
own up
that,
to it.
let's just say this comes with an auto foul for the next.
For the next, yeah.
You start off
Oh,
with
that's
one foul.
I forgot that we even made that thing.
You force these rules upon us
Well,
because
first
of
of
my
all-
stupid joke.
Well, you deserved it.
Yeah. But for the next one,
No, it's
you
not
have
just a
to
regular
remove
foul;
it.
it's a technical foul.
You're gonna take a tech?
Yeah, because like with regular fouls, you need 6 fouls to foul out. That's a pretty breaking the golden rule of a studio. That's one tech. That's a technical foul. If I get one other technical foul during that episode, I'm ejected from the game. I have to watch from afar, and then everything that I say, I have to scream it, and you have to hear and be like, "What? I can't hear you. You're not in the game." Like you got to shit on me all the time.
We need to have a separate camera for you then. It's like,
Yeah, like a really shitty webcam that it looks like I'm like grainy and
GoPro?
shit. Yeah, and it has to be like a bad angle that makes me look hella fat. You know what I mean? And I have to be naked.
Why?
Alright.
Why the
I
last
think
part?
you can be naked without that being.
Because we need another mic. But no, for real, like that's bullshit. Like I can't. Like that is a rule that should never be broken, especially when it comes to like the Wave Gang creative process. So I'll own up to that shit. That was fucked up. My bad.
It's all good, fam. It happens.
Yeah.
I'm a stand-up guy.
You are a stand-up guy.
But before we
He's
go,
a good guy, guys.
Good guy.
any upcoming news projects?
We three don't have anything other than the stuff we're three working together. However, Chemo Slice is going to finally have a solo release.
Awesome.
Very soon. It's called Free Game. I believe Xani Devito has a feature on that. I also have a feature on that. And Holographic Children's doing the artwork for it and is also a huge part of course, mixing and mastering, as we always do. Producing all of the above. So that's the solo thing coming out. The Swishman side video is gonna come out next week. I got confirmation from I Am Hip Hop finally.
Sweet.
God, it was already 3 months late, but due to me, and then it's a month late due to the distribution. So that sucks, but it's coming. It's coming. And shouts out Holographic Children's on that song. Xani Devito is a huge part of Chemo Slice's portion of the music video. E-Fry Photography, of course, does all our visuals. OK Camila, of course, does all the video editing. Sean, Ron from Run Your Pockets was a huge part of the music video. Alexis is always there turning shit up. Kristen was also there. I think that's everybody that was at the shoot, right?
Yeah, I think that's
Correct.
So, yeah.
Correct.
What about you?
it. Just working on a couple of things. You've heard the new stuff I'm working on.
It's fucking tight,
Yeah,
dude.
I can't wait to release that. That's gonna come out probably like April. So yeah, we got Dev season, of course, coming out.
Yeah. We have a date for it.
Yeah, 2020, right? 20.
Yeah, 2020
No,
year.
2/20/2020. Okay.
Yeah, 2/20/2020, February
Yeah,
20th.
So you guys can't miss it. that's a very memorable date.
Yeah, fuckheads.
Don't miss it.
Don't
miss
sleep.
it.
Don't do
I
that.
would
We'll
say
remind you guys.
it feels like an Avengers level album because like
Yeah.
we're all very different. You know what I mean? Like Xani Devito is fucking the Hulk, right?
Yeah.
Chemo Slice is Black Panther, right? I'm Iron Man and Thor put together. Also with a dash of Doctor Strange at times. Also, Star-Lord is an inspiration. And I have the
I like how it's fucking 5 heroes.
and I have the lower body of Black Widow. So that feels like, and then also the holographic children is like Hawkeye. Hawkeye's my favorite Avenger, though. No, I'm just
Oh,
playing.
more like
He's
fucking
there
the
for more.
Hulk.
No, he's the
Oh,
Hulk.
you're the Hulk.
But I mean,
Yeah.
he's Dark Ruffalo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's Bruce Banner. No, I'm just playing. No, but for real, like we all bring our own like styles to it, and none of them clash.
Yeah.
They all like are put into a gumbo, and then we have a secret weapon up our sleeve that we just are gonna release on you, motherfuckers, man. It's our Scarlet Witch. It's our Shuri. It's our
our Vision.
Captain Marvel. It's our Gal Gadot. It's our friend Korra.
It's the Wasp.
The Wasp. Yeah, Korra's good. This album's gonna be fucking tight. Yeah, the first video is gonna be No Name. Mm-hmm. We also have a feature on this album. We tried to make sure we kept it family only, so it's Jay Harmony is gonna feature on a couple songs. We also Eric is also our visuals man is gonna have a skit too. It's gonna be tight. Yeah, Xani, what you got coming up, man? Other than
Dude, just wave gang shit.
hell yeah,
Nothing special.
And you got Stakes is High, right?
Yeah, we've been talking about that, and it hasn't started, so I'm not gonna say that. I already know what I'm gonna do, what I'm gonna cook, but it's, no dates have been set, no planning has been done.
We know what would be a cool show actually for Xani. It's still a cooking show, but we show him like a hella like, because I showed you that cooking channel the other time.
Yeah, where
and
the
he
really
said he's gonna try to do it.
Korean.
We're basically like this guy made eggs, but they're like stringy and like
Oh
almost like silk.
yeah,
And it's like, I'm gonna
fucking
do that.
weird looking,
So-
dude, but it looks so good.
Yeah, so that'd be an interesting show where he tries to do what he sees and see
Alright.
whether he fails or not.
okay.
I watch a YouTube video on how to do it. and I
Yeah.
try to do it.
And you can only watch it once. You can't go
Damn,
back to it, and then you have to
I
do
need
it.
references.
That's actually a fucking incredible
Right?
idea.
Like if we show him binging with Babish, or
and
like
that we
Gordon
could still
Ramsay.
keep the stakes as high with Xani Devito with that name,
Yeah.
because it's like I only get one
Yeah.
chance to watch it, no rewinds.
And the stakes are high.
Is high.
It is high.
Yeah, because the food could give me food poisoning after.
Oh,
Oh,
we got to make sure only film on Friday nights so that you have 2 days. Oh, Saturday nights, I mean, so you have 2 days to recover before work. That sounds rough. I don't want to hurt your pockets there, but shit.
I could work from home.
Are you planning on doing another video for Zanuation, or are you gonna just work on your next EP or
No, I'll
whatever?
probably work on the next shit.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
Wish
I
is
can't
so
wait
we're
for
gonna-
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have any idea of what direction?
I'm feeling the next album be called something along the lines of Baywatch.
Okay.
And the cover will be me sitting at the top of the lifeguard thing with the.
Is it
whole
Baywatch
thing.
BAY or BAE?
What do you think?
It's your project.
It's BAE.
Okay.
Because I'm watching Bay.
that's Cora's last name. Like her real last name is Bay.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, I
That's just a coincidence.
Are you gonna do a joint album with Cora? It's called
I know,
Baywatch.
right?
Baywatch.
And the album cover is literally him watching Korra.
Yeah. Do you have a sound in mind? Like Baka? I think we talked about this before.
Yeah.
Baka not nice-ish.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Awesome. Well,
Sounds
dope.
like a good time,
Where can
guys.
they find you, Medium?
They can find me on find me on IG at Medium 37 Franc. That's with a C, like French money. You feel me?
You got a Twitter too?
Yeah, at WGWW Frankie, FRANKIE.
All right.
Yeah.
Xani?
You can find me at Xani, Xani _Devito, just like Danny DeVito.
And that's on Instagram.
And that's on Instagram. You won't find me anywhere else.
You're on Twitter.
I'm on Twitter, but I never use it.
What's your Twitter handle, though?
I'm pretty positive it's the same thing.
No, it's not. It's at WGWW. Oh, wow.
That is. Like I said, basically the same thing.
But you guys can find me on Instagram at The Holographic Children.
It's a long-ass name.
It
so if you're going to
spell it out for him.
T-H-E-H-O-L-O-G.
Use it in a sentence.
Can I get a definition?
Can I get the country of origin? Philippines. No, if you're going to tag him on an IG story, don't use the strong font because the N will go into its own line. That always bothers me. Dope, man. Well, hey, man, we talked about fucking Juice WRLD, R.I.P. We talked about fucking Billie Eilish. We talked about Resident Evil 3, Kingdom Hearts 3 DLC, Final Fantasy 7 remake. We talked about WWE. We talked about NBA.
We talked about Doom.
Madden, Doom. We talked about fucking Disney Plus. We talked about all 5 episodes of Mandalorian. And we talked about literally the whole Skywalker saga and a little bit of Rogue One and Clone Wars. What else do you want from us? We the kings of this motherfucker.
What's up?
All right, guys. Peace. Oh, wait.
You know what they say at the On Repeat podcast. Zip it up and zip it out.
I'm drawn in the sea, but I can't help but take my second chance. So we go no matter what we pushing, we get pulled in by the waves. Popping pills and bottles and